Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Everyone's job transfer. This assassin is a bit strong. Chapter 31. 1, 2, 3. 10 people, 20 people, 30 people. More and more castle guards came from all over, blocking in front of Qin Yun, trying to kill this bold intruder. However, their efforts were in vain. No matter how many they had, they surrounded the intruder and launched ferocious attacks, but they were all dodged by the other party. They even encountered counterattacks and even killed him. Team after team of castle guards died at the hands of the invader, one after another. Until the end, corpses were everywhere, not a single castle guard appeared anymore, and the surroundings fell into silence again. Well, that's it. Qin Yun counted the castle guards he had killed and found that there were only more than 50, which was not enough for half of the entire copy. He knows how many enemies there are in this single-player job transfer copy of the Dark Castle. There are more than this number of people in such a huge castle. No, it should be said that there are only so many nearby castle guards who can be alerted by the chain. Qin Yun touched his chin and quickly guessed the truth. If only one castle guard is alerted, all the enemies in the castle can be lured out. Then there will be too many loopholes that this dungeon can take advantage of, and the assassination mission will be easier. As long as you lure the enemy out, then take the opportunity to sneak in and sneak into the target, you can complete the challenge mission. On the contrary, it is the most difficult to deal with those who can only disturb a small part of them and leave most of them in the castle. Because if you sneak in at this time and encounter the enemies returning to the castle, the possibility of being exposed will be greatly increased. If you are outflanked from front to back, you will fall into a trap. And this kind of setting where only a small number of castle guards will be alerted, and if they can't find the intruder, they will quickly return to their original position, makes it even more difficult. Never give intruders the possibility to sneak in, and the fault tolerance rate is greatly reduced. However, for Qin Yun, this is a bit unfriendly. Forget it, keep fighting in. Qin Yun didn't care and chose the simplest way, fighting all the way in. No matter how many castle guards he could alert, he would kill as many as he came. After all, he is equipped with the ogre's bloodthirsty pendant, which has 10% blood-sucking healing, and he is not afraid of being attacked by the castle guards at all. Even if you are accidentally attacked by them, your health will be sucked back quickly, so there is nothing to be afraid of. That's how unscrupulous it is. Soon, he continued to penetrate deeper, and as expected, he once again alerted the guards throughout the castle. They were like a disturbed hive, densely packed, swarming in from all over the place, one after another. If it were another job changer, he would probably have been beaten to death without being able to escape. But Qin Yun does not reject anyone who comes, and the more the merrier. He went deeper again and again, not caring how many castle guards were alerted and killing as many as they came. Under his brutal intrusion, almost all the soldiers guarding the Dark Castle were alerted by the chain, and rushed over one after another. In the end, they were easily slaughtered by him, unable to stop him at all. In the end, the entire Dark Castle became empty. The originally densely packed surveillance and patrol points, and the difficult places that were difficult to sneak into, now became empty and completely lost their role of defense. "Hello, Earl Jack, where are you?" Qin Yun began to wander around the castle, and even shouted loudly, hoping to get a certain mission target to surrender voluntarily, so that he would not spend time looking for it. Unfortunately, no one answered, which made him a little disappointed. He searched 2 rooms in a row, but couldn't find Earl Jack, and he felt a little bad. "If you come out now, I can make your death easier." In desperation, he could only continue to the next room. He couldn't imagine how bad his mood would be if he really went through all the trouble to evade the patrolling guards along the way, sneaked in all the way, and finally didn't find Count Jack in the room. I'm afraid this is where this single-player job transfer dungeon tests the patience of every assassin, right? It is basically impossible to find Earl Jack's location the first time. This is deliberately trying to mess with people's mentality. It's no wonder that this job-changing dungeon, which involves sneaking into assassination, is rated as highly difficult and not easy to complete. In addition to the difficulty of infiltrating, there is also the difficulty of maintaining enough patience. Once you fail to bear it, you may accidentally alert the patrol guards along the way, which will eventually lead to the failure of the challenge mission. However, for Qin Yun, who sneaked into the assassination openly and honestly. It was just a few more steps. He was not as cautious as ordinary job changers, for fear that he would make some noise and be discovered by the patrolling castle guards. Oh, it turns out to be here. Finally, in the third room, Qin Yun discovered the figure of Earl Jack. Moreover, he also discovered how subtle this setting is for ordinary career changers. Because when a job changer misses twice in a row, he will inevitably think that the opponent is in the last room, but is surprised to find the target appears on the third time. At this time, the job changer will find it difficult to maintain a balance of mentality. If you can't wait, you will want to kill the target, thereby increasing the possibility of exposing yourself. You know, Earl Jack is accompanied by several personal guards, whose attributes are higher than those of ordinary castle guards, making them more difficult to deal with. If you are not careful, the job changer may fall before dawn. Then the mission will fail and you will regret it. This kind of human test really challenges the psychological weaknesses of ordinary people. However, Qin Yun was much simpler. He broke into the room openly and without any cover-up. Of course, his appearance immediately alerted Earl Jack and several of his bodyguards. Quick, kill him. Earl Jack was shocked and pointed at Qin Yun and ordered. And the few personal guards obeyed his orders without hesitation. Don't worry. Qin Yun calmly threw a detection scroll and checked the attributes of his bodyguard to show caution. Then, a relaxed smile appeared on his lips. Oh, the attributes are just like this, not much stronger. Faced with the siege of his bodyguards, he easily eliminated them with a few normal attacks, one by one, just enough to clear their health. Now it's your turn, my dear Earl Jack. After taking care of these personal guards, Qin Yun faced the Earl and showed a kind smile. No, don't kill me. The Count actually begged for mercy, which was very interesting. However, before Qin Yun could answer, he took out a gun from his sleeve, pointed it in Qin Yun's direction, and pulled the trigger. Qin Yun had noticed his little movement a long time ago and ducked sideways without being hit by the bullet. You are quite insidious, Lord Earl Jack. He walked over step by step and sneered. You die. Earl Jack shot at him crazily, his expression getting uglier. However, a second later, someone's dagger cut his throat. Aha! Blood splattered. An astonishing damage value emptied the Count's health bar. Okay, the target has been killed, the mission is completed. Qin Yun's figure appeared behind the opponent, and he slowly retracted the dagger with an extremely relaxed expression. In fact, he fought his way in without encountering any difficulties. Abnormal damage output makes everything so simple. Congratulations, you have completed the job transfer challenge task. Single quote. You are about to leave the single-player job transfer copy, and the 10-second countdown begins. 10, 9, 8, 7, 3, 2, 1. Single quote. With the countdown reminder, Qin Yun found himself shrouded in a dazzling light. Then, the scene in front of him changed. He left the dungeon and returned to the original place, which was room 404 on the 4th floor of the Temple of the Job Changer. What appeared in front of him was the exquisite, huge spherical holy stone that exuded a strange light. And his hands are no longer pressing on it. At this moment, a prompt popped up on his personal career attribute panel. Congratulations, you've completed one turn. Single quote. You have awakened the S-level talent skill Eye of Insight. Your next job transfer awakening will be at level 40, so stay tuned. Single quote. Qin Yun raised his eyebrows, and was about to see the effect of his newly awakened talent skill, when the system's electronically synthesized voice sounded in his mind. Affected by the mysterious power, S-level talent Eye of Insight was transformed into SSS-level talent Delusion Breaking Eye. Single quote. Eye of Insight. Talent's passive skill can see the enemy's weaknesses for 5 seconds. When hitting the weak point, the damage caused to the enemy is increased by 200%, and the critical hit chance is increased by 25%. Delusion Breaking Eye. Talent's passive skill can see through and permanently mark the enemy's weaknesses. When it hits the marked part, the damage caused to the enemy is increased by 1000%, and it will definitely cause a critical hit. Single quote. Ding, it's detected that the host has completed a round of challenges, the main task has been completed, and task rewards have begun to be distributed. Congratulations to the host for receiving a mysterious reward, please check it in your space backpack. Single quote. Hearing this series of prompts, Qin Yun was stunned for a moment, and then a lot of question marks appeared in his heart. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. What the hell, has my talent skill been modified by the system again? Moreover, the skill effect is so abnormal. Mark the enemy's weakness, increase the damage 10 times, and ensure a critical hit. Is this too strong? If this continues, I will have no friends. Qin Yun was surprised and happy in his heart. Of course, he was more surprised because he was frightened by the power of the system. The original SSS level talent God Killing Blade was already perverted enough, but I didn't expect that the newly awakened SSS level talent Delusion Breaking Eye would be no less impressive. I just don't know if the effects of the two skills are superimposed. Will the damage be 20 times the original, or 100 times? If it were 100 times higher, wouldn't it mean that anyone would be killed in seconds? Taking into account the critical hit damage, it is 30 times, or 150 times. Oh my god, which boss can handle this damage? Qin Yun was completely shocked and didn't dare to think too much. The picture was so beautiful and terrifying. Is this more than just an explosion? What a blast! By the way, there is also a mysterious reward. He opened his space backpack and soon saw the mysterious reward the system said was a black gift box. I don't know what it is. Qin Yun did not hesitate and opened it immediately, wanting to see what the system would reward him. As the gift box was opened, an equipment icon appeared in the next space of the space backpack. It looks like it's a dagger. Weapon. It's a professional weapon suitable for me. Qin Yun immediately clicked it to check it out, eager to see its specific attributes. Name: Pale Blade, Soul Binding. Type: Weapon. Grade: Ordinary. Star rating: 1 star. Level requirement: Level 20. Occupation requirements: Assassin. Wearing requirements: Agility 120 points or above. Attribute effect: Attack power plus 250. Strength plus 10. Constitution plus 10. Agility plus 20. Stamina plus 10. Intelligence plus 10. Special effect: 1. Infinite evolution. It can swallow weapons of the same quality and type, improve its own quality attributes, and grow infinitely. 2, 3, 4, Qin Yun was completely confused when he saw the properties of this weapon. What the hell? This is actually a blank level 20 weapon. Its attributes are so rubbish that it is not even as good as the blue high-quality dagger he is using, and its attack power is much lower. However, when he saw the special effects of this weapon, Qin Yun breathed a sigh of relief and became pleasantly surprised. Because this is actually a weapon that can infinite evolution and unlimited growth. In other words, if it swallows enough weapons of the same quality and type, its own quality attributes will continue to improve, and it may even grow into the supreme divine weapon. It's so awesome, this mysterious reward. Unexpectedly, after completing the first round of the main mission, the system actually rewarded me with such a divine weapon blank. Qin Yun was in a very happy mood and couldn't help laughing. This is indeed a big surprise. Moreover, it is also a soul-bound exclusive weapon, which means that it will not be dropped even if you die, so you don't have to worry about losing it, and you have no worries. This is so thoughtful. Although Qin Yun didn't think he would die, he was not afraid of 10,000, just in case. The only drawback is that its initial attributes are a bit low, not as good as the dagger I am using now. However, as long as he swallows some weapons for it and gains some growth, it should be able to surpass the one he is using now and can be directly replaced, right? The remaining special effects should be unlocked one by one after their quality is improved, right? Qin Yun looked at this pale blade, and guessed that it was very possible. Because obviously, the unknown attributes with question marks behind the characteristic effects have not been unblocked, and they will be available sooner or later. From now on, I no longer have to worry about weapons, I just need to keep feeding it. Ha, the shape is pretty good. Qin Yun directly equipped the pale blade instead of the blue high-quality dagger. The more he looked at it, the more he liked it. After playing with it for a while, he happily replaced it and put it back in the space backpack. Just after completing one turn, his strength increased to a higher level again. He couldn't wait to try his current explosion damage. I want to see whether it is 20 times or 100 times. He opened his personal career attribute panel and saw the words, 1 turn, behind the awakening item. It was no longer, oh turn. He then closed the personal career attribute panel and turned around to leave. Room. Take care. When Qin Yun returned the room card to the front desk lady in the Temple Hall of Job Transferees, she said goodbye to him with a smile and did not ask about the result of his job transfer. Because this is the personal privacy of job transferees, she will not ask them, it is not within the scope of her responsibilities. Well, thank you. Qin Yun thanked her and left the Temple of Job Changers. Afterwards, he couldn't wait to get in the car and rush to the wild area outside the city. He couldn't wait to find a wild monster to test it out. Arriving at the familiar plain in the northern suburbs of the city, Qin Yun found a slime. This poor level 1 slime, unaware of its next fate, was still squirming slowly on the green grass, leaving a slippery trace of movement that was slightly corroded. Then the decision is yours. Qin Yun looked at it and said softly, the slime's defense is negligible. This is more intuitive and will not affect my experiment. First, it's a normal hit. He stood in front of the slime, took out his dagger, and stabbed him mercilessly. 12,843. An astonishing 5-digit damage appeared from the head of this poor slime. With only 50 health points, it owed Qin Yun more than 250 lives. It suddenly died and its belly turned upside down on the spot. Well, the damage of a normal attack is between 12,000 and less than 13,000. Seeing this terrifying output damage, Qin Yun was used to it and was not surprised. Then, let's try the weakness mark of SSS level talent delusion breaking eye. Soon, he came to another slime and his eyes narrowed. Suddenly, a strange and cool red mark appeared on the slime's body, like a target locked by radar, but only he could see it. Is this a weakness mark? It's pretty cool, Qin Yun commented, and without hesitation, he immediately waved the dagger in his hand and stabbed the slime's marked spot accurately, quickly and accurately. 38,604. A terrifying damage value suddenly appeared from the slime's head, and its health bar was suddenly cleared. Moreover, unlike the damage numbers that appeared before, it is bold and red, which means it is a critical hit. Qin Yun frowned instead. Why is it only 38,000? In this case, it is equivalent to about 3 times the normal attack just now. Including the 150% bonus to critical hit damage, that is to say, the 1000% damage bonus of the God-Killing Blade and the 1000% damage bonus of the Delusion-Breaking Eye. The way they are superimposed is additive, not multiplicative. Not 100 times, just 20 times. Even if you include the critical hit damage bonus from Delusion Breaking Eye's guaranteed critical hit, it's only 30 times the damage. So, the 1000% damage bonus of these 2 awakened talent skills only increases my basic attack damage, and there is no law manifestation interaction. Qin Yun touched his chin, feeling a little disappointed. He thought he could take off in one wave and the damage would be increased 100 times. Unexpectedly, after this actual combat test, the superposition method of these 2 awakened talent skills was additive, which only increased the damage by 2000%. But fortunately, they should all have a multiplier effect on skill damage, and they all have a tenfold bonus. Backstab. In order to test this idea, Qin Yun found another slime. When he was 20 meters away from it, he focused his eyes, marked its weaknesses, and activated the level 20 general skill, Backstab. He instantly arrived behind the slime and stabbed directly into its weak point. 102,145. A 6-digit amount of horrific damage, highlighted in red and bold, emerged directly from the poor slime's head, breaking Qin Yun's personal record for the highest single damage. 100,000. The damage value is as high as 100,000, so terrifying. The 250% physical damage bonus of the backstab skill, coupled with the 2000% damage bonus brought by the weakness mark of the God-Killing Blade and Delusion-Breaking Eye, and the 150% critical hit damage bonus of the guaranteed critical hit, directly make his damage output as sky-high. This is completely beyond the damage limit that a level 20 job changer can deal. If others saw it, they would probably think he was cheating. 100,000. Not bad. Qin Yun took back the dagger and nodded with satisfaction when he saw the damage value floating on the slime's head. Versailles tone makes people just want to beat him up. Well, although it's not 100 times as expected, it's still acceptable. Qin Yun smiled, touched his chin and said, it seems that I, the SSS level God-killing assassin, am not very strong. I can only say that I am a bit strong, right? Then, just to be on the safe side, let's test it a few more times. Next, he started a crazy killing spree on the plains on the outskirts of the city. The wild monsters here were in a miserable state. They were brutally beaten and had no power to resist. The worst thing is the slimes. They are extremely pitiful. They are hit by various assassin skills and cannot bear it. Instead, they owe someone thousands of lives. Fortunately, someone's inhumane behavior stopped quickly after the idea was verified. He returned to the main city of Tianhai and spared these poor low-level wild monsters. Boss, bring me some daggers. Qin Yun came to the nearest weapons store and stated his requirements. Level 1 whiteboard, the cheaper the better. Well, the weapons store owner was stunned. This was the first time he had heard such a strange request in so many years of business. But who makes the customer the god? After searching for it, he finally found the level 1 novice whiteboard outfit that had been taken off the shelves more than 20 days ago and placed it in front of Qin Yun. Ah, classmate, are you a new job transfer student this year? The boss looked at Qin Yun's young and handsome face and couldn't help but said, tomorrow is the last stage of this year's assessment. Have you not bought your own professional weapon? If you don't fight monsters and upgrade, you will how do I get into college? No matter how bad your talent level is, you still have to work hard and cheer for your life. Obviously, he has regarded Qin Yun as the kind of low-level talent job changer who is lying around and doing nothing. Qin Yun was also a little confused. He didn't expect to be treated like a rotten salted fish by his boss. What? Don't give up on yourself, you will always have hope. The owner of the weapons store thrust a level 1 whiteboard dagger into Qin Yun's hand, and said in a tone of hatred, hurry up and fight monsters to upgrade, hurry up. Well, Qin Yun was a little speechless, holding the dagger and standing there blankly. How much does this dagger cost? It's a gift for you, no need to pay for it. The weapon shop owner waved his hand and said in an urging tone, hurry up and upgrade. No, Qin Yun wanted to say something, but was kicked out of the weapons store. What's this? He stood outside the door of the weapons store, speechless. After thinking about it, he turned back and before the boss could say anything, he put 1,000 yuan on the counter, turned around and ran away. Wait. The owner of the weapons shop stretched out his hand and wanted to say something, but Qin Yun had already run away and did not stop at all. Well, he is a kind and good boy. With tears in his eyes, the boss accepted the money. The price of the level 1 whiteboard outfit has been reduced to several hundred yuan a long time ago. It's not the peak season of awakening and career change. You paid too much. Could it be that this child's family situation is not good and he never has money to buy equipment, so he doesn't go to fight monsters and upgrade? I went to work odd jobs for a month and finally made some money, so I came here to buy equipment. It's so hard for this kid. When he comes over next time, I will definitely return the money to him, just think of it as a small favor to him. The weapon shop owner's heart was extremely soft, and he sighed with a lot of emotions. Qin Yun, who left the weapons store, was a little bit dumbfounded. Emotionally, has he been treated like a rotten fish? You just want to buy a few level 1 whiteboard daggers to try out your newly acquired Pale Blade, an exclusive weapon with infinite growth that is rewarded by the system, but you have been misunderstood. Forget it, that's it. He shook his head helplessly, not knowing what to say. After returning home, he took out the Pale Blade from his space backpack, put the level 1 whiteboard dagger on the table, and started experimenting. Well, what to do? Qin Yun scratched his head, a little confused. After thinking about it, he directly equipped the Pale Blade, and then pointed the sharp edge of the dagger on the level 1 whiteboard-mounted dagger on the table. Suddenly, a prompt from the system popped up in front of his eyes. Ding! If you detect a target that can be swallowed, do you want to activate the Infinite Evolution special effect of the Pale Blade? Please confirm. Yes, no. Single quote. Yes, confirmed. Single quote. Qin Yun's eyes flashed with surprise and he decisively pressed the confirmation button. Following his confirmation, the level 1 whiteboard dagger on the table suddenly emitted a soft white glow, gradually dissipated, and finally turned into a point of light, which was absorbed by the Pale Blade in his hand. Ding! The devouring is over, your Pale Blade has received a slight improvement in quality. Single quote. Seeing this prompt, Chin-yun immediately opened the Personal Professional Attributes panel, couldn't wait to look at the equipment column, and clicked on the attributes of the Pale Blade. Name: Pale Blade, Soul Binding. Type: Weapon. Grade: Ordinary. Star rating: 2 stars. Level requirement: Level 20. Occupation requirements: Assassin. Wearing requirements: Agility 120 points or above. Attribute effect: Attack power plus 270. Strength plus 15. Constitution plus 15. Agility plus 25. Stamina plus 15. Intelligence plus 15. Special effect: 1. Infinite evolution. It can swallow weapons of the same quality and type, improve its own quality attributes, and grow infinitely. 2, 3, 4, Chin-yun was pleasantly surprised to find that the properties of the Pale Blade had indeed undergone considerable changes. The most obvious thing is that its star rating has become 2 stars. Secondly, its attack power has increased by 20 points. In addition, its attribute effects have also been improved, with all attributes increased by 5 points. Chin-yun was extremely surprised that it had improved so much just by swallowing a level 1 whiteboard dagger. It's so strong, this growth rate is huge. After a simple calculation, Chin-yun couldn't help but sigh, looking forward to its future even more. If it can be upgraded to the legendary level, or to the supreme divine weapon level, what will its attributes be? When he thought of this, he felt excited. Well, continue to buy the whiteboard materials, let the Pale Blade devour it, and improve its quality as soon as possible. Just as he said, Chin-yun immediately ran out of the house and went to the blacksmith shop of the nearby chubby Lu Haoran's house. He spent thousands of dollars to buy 5 level 1 whiteboard daggers. He didn't want to be treated like a dirty fish by other weapons shop owners, so he had better take care of the old Lu family's business. Then, with the fat dad's confused eyes, he returned home and started the phagocytosis experiment again. 1 handful, 2 handfuls, 3 handfuls. Chin-yun upgraded the Pale Blade to 5 stars in one breath, and its attributes were greatly improved. Whiteboard has 5 stars. Looking at the current attributes of the Pale Blade, he felt very satisfied, his eyes full of surprise. Because, the attribute value of the current Pale Blade has almost surpassed that of the high-quality blue dagger weapon that he spent tens of thousands of yuan to buy. The growth rate is quite astonishing. Then, continue. Chin-yun did not stop there and immediately continued to devour. Ding, if you detect a target that can be swallowed, do you want to activate the Infinite Evolution special effect of the Pale Blade? Please confirm. Yes, no. Single quote. Yes, confirmed. Single quote. Without hesitation, he let the Pale Blade swallow up a level 1 whiteboard dagger again. However, this time, the properties of the Pale Blade did not improve at all. Only after its name, the words 1/2 appeared. Isn't it enough? Do you want to devour another one? Chin-yun speculated in his heart. After all, 5 stars is already the highest number of stars for a grade. If it continues to increase, there should be a change in the grade. With this thought in mind, he used the last blank dagger as a material and let the Pale Blade continue to devour it. Sure enough, changes really happened. Ding, the devouring is over, your Pale Blade has successfully upgraded its level, from ordinary to excellent. Single quote. Seeing this system prompt, Chin-yun felt happy and found that the name of the Pale Blade changed from white to green. He immediately clicked on its properties and started to check. Name: Pale Blade, Soul Binding. Type: Weapon. Grade: Excellent. Star rating: 1 star. Level requirement: Level 20. Occupation requirements: Assassin. Wearing requirements: Agility 150 points or more. Attribute effect: Attack power plus 350. Strength plus 35. Constitution plus 35. Agility plus 45. Stamina plus 35. Intelligence plus 35. Special effect: 1. Infinite evolution. It can swallow weapons of the same quality and type, improve its own quality attributes, and grow infinitely. 2. Soul shatter. Every time you kill an enemy, you can randomly obtain 1 to 10 points of soul energy, which can be stored indefinitely. When this skill is actively released, it will cause real damage to the enemy equal to the current number of soul energy points, regardless of defense, shield, and damage reduction. damage transfer, invincibility and injury avoidance. Current stored soul energy, 0 points. 3, 4, what the hell? Seeing the changes in properties of the pale blade, Qin only had this comment in his mind. His original guess turned into reality, and its level was really upgraded, from the original 5-star ordinary white equipment to the 1-star excellent green equipment, and its attributes changed dramatically. Its attack power has been increased to 350, its attributes have been increased to 35 points, and its agility attribute has been increased to 45 points. And most importantly, it also unlocks new special effects. Seeing the active skill called Soul Breaking, Qin almost jumped up on the spot with surprise and couldn't help but laugh out loud. Kill the enemy, store soul energy points infinitely, and then actively release them to cause real damage to the enemy. Moreover, this damage ignores defense. Ignore the shield, even ignoring the buff status of damage reduction, damage transfer and invulnerability. Is there any more perverted skill than this? This can definitely become his trump card. As long as enough soul energy points are stored, even the strongest boss can't withstand his own blow, right? Now the awesomeness is coming out. Qin couldn't be more surprised and excited. I don't know if the 1000% damage bonus of my 2 awakened talent skills, God-Killing Blade, and Delusion-Breaking Eye, can take effect on this soul-breaking skill. He couldn't sit still anymore and immediately left home, heading to the wilderness outside the city again. He couldn't help but want to verify his idea immediately. If his guess is true, then he will be invincible. Arriving again at the familiar plain outside the city's north suburbs, Qin launched a ruthless massacre against the poor slime. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 20. Qin killed a large group of slimes nearby as quickly as possible, like a cold-blooded executioner. And every time he kills one, he will receive a reminder to remind him how much soul energy he has absorbed. Sometimes it's 1 point, sometimes it's 7 points. The number is completely random and not fixed. After he killed all the slimes nearby, he opened his personal career attribute panel, glanced at the pale blade on the equipment slot, and found that the number of soul energy points currently stored in it had increased from 0 to 127. Okay, let's start testing. He found a slime further away and began to verify his guess. If I only hit 127 points of damage with this strike, it means that the damage of the soul shattering is only related to the stored soul energy points. Qin eyes narrowed and he spotted the weakness mark on the slime, and if it deals 3,810 points of damage, it means that it can take 1000% of the God-Killing Blade and Delusion-Breaking Eye. Damage bonus, you can even get critical hit damage bonus. Come on, let's see which one it is. Broken Soul. He stepped forward and rushed towards the slime. With an indomitable momentum, he stabbed the dagger in his hand into its weak point. Poof! A record of his lowest single injury in history appeared. 127. Well, seeing this embarrassing damage value, the corners of Qin mouth twitched slightly, and he stood frozen on the spot. Facts have proved that the special skill of Soul Shatter is only related to the points of soul energy and does not receive any skill damage bonus, even his awakening talent skill is no exception. In fact, it doesn't even take critical hits. It can only deal as much real damage as the number of soul energy points it has. Even if the attack hit the slime's weakness mark, there was no critical hit, and it still only dealt 127 points of damage. Ah, this is embarrassing. The special active skill that comes with the pale blade is not as strong as he expected. It is very real, as if it belongs to an independent skill from another dimension. It has nothing to do with the damage bonus of any passive skill and cannot be linked. Qin didn't know what to say. Let's say it's strong. Its effect is indeed very strong, but it can only be said to be a little strong, but not much. Call, he sighed, his expression a little helpless. It seems that in the future, he can only use it under certain special circumstances to obtain the maximum benefit. After all, with its ability to ignore defense, ignore shields, and even ignore damage reduction and become invincible, it still has a lot of potential. As long as you accumulate enough soul energy points, you should be able to see its damage, but you just need to spend more time to slowly store them. What are you doing? At this moment, a girl's voice came from behind him. Qin turned around and saw that it was his classmate and former dream goddess, Ling. After being away for nearly a month, she looked even more beautiful. She was dressed in a snow-white mage robe, holding a staff, and her whole person was filled with a holy aura. This month's monster fighting upgrades seemed to have made her undergo a transformation, and she had a different kind of coldness and arrogance in her eyes. This is probably the growth brought about by killing. She seemed to have seen someone dealing embarrassing damage just now, and her eyebrows furrowed slightly. Qin, why is your damage so low? Fighting a level 1 slime only does over 100 points of damage. Did I see it wrong? Well, Qin was speechless and picked his butt in embarrassment. There is no shame in doing low damage, but what is even more shameful is being seen by an acquaintance. More than 100 injuries, how could he explain this to others? He was much more than this when he was at level 1. Qin, how far have you reached? Seeing that he didn't answer, Ling Shuier changed the topic again, seeming to be very curious about it. Level 20. Qin breathed a sigh of relief and told the truth. As long as you don't ask him how he got hurt just now, he will be your friend. Level 20. Ling Shuier looked at him suspiciously, as if she didn't believe it. Have you been taking Lorin with you to upgrade? It doesn't count all the time. After I raised him to level 15, I fought monsters by myself to level up. Qin returned to his normal mood and said frankly. Quote. In response to this, Ling Shuier was silent for a few seconds and then said, I have reached level 18. Keep working hard. There will be an assessment tomorrow. After saying that, she turned and left, as if to remind him to pay attention. Quote. Qin tilted his head, not knowing what she meant. Was she showing off to himself? But, didn't I say that I was already level 20? The level is higher than yours. Moreover, I also cleared the single-player job transfer dungeon and successfully transferred. Could it be that the scene of beating the slime just now made her misunderstand something? Hey, am I so miserable? A level 1 slime only does over 100 points of damage. Why don't you take a look at the equipment I'm wearing? Although they look a little strange in appearance, they are all level 20. The one you have is still the level 1 purple quality novice suit awarded by the school, right? Don't use the appearance of the equipment to measure the attributes of the equipment. Qin was confused and unable to complain, but he quickly forgot about this trivial matter and was too lazy to think about it. Yes, the assessment will begin tomorrow. He glanced down at his dagger and said to himself, even if I go to fight monsters now, I probably won't be able to reach level 21. So, let's continue upgrading the pale blade. It has been successfully promoted to the excellent level. Next, you should buy some green daggers as materials, right? The dagger installed on the whiteboard can no longer be swallowed by evolution. I don't know how much a green dagger costs, either. Qin took a look at his wallet balance and found that there was only more than 30,000 yuan left. He couldn't help but sigh, feeling like he was spending money like water these days. Well, no matter what, let's go buy it first. He turned around and walked towards the main city of Tianhai, doing what he said and doing it resolutely. Taking bus number 36, Qin arrived near his home and walked into old Lu's blacksmith store. The cheapest high-grade dagger weapon. Facing his request, Lu Haoran's father, commonly known as Fat Dad, scratched his head in confusion. Ayan, what do you want so many daggers for? Do you want to throw them away as flying knives? These are weapons, not consumables. Before and after, Qin had already bought 5 whiteboard-mounted daggers from him, as well as a blue high-quality level 23-star dagger. Now he wants to buy a green-mounted dagger. To be honest, Fat Dad doesn't even know what kind of plane he is doing. Ah, that's right, I just use it as a throwing knife. It's a consumable for the long-range talent skill. The better the quality, the higher the damage. Qin smiled awkwardly and followed the other person's words and made up a nonsense reason. There are so many job changers in this world, and the awakened talent has strange skills, like an assassin who throws a dagger as a flying knife. Doesn't that sound strange? Anyway, others don't know what skills he has awakened, so it's enough if they can explain it. You can't tell the truth about the pale blade, right? If others knew that he had a weapon that could grow infinitely, that would be a big deal. It's probably going to cause some unnecessary trouble, so it's better not to tell others and just know it yourself. From now on, I won't go to Little Fatty's blacksmith shop to buy anything. I'll try to go to as many weapon shops as possible. It will be a little troublesome, but at least it won't attract anyone's attention. Qin Yun thought to himself and decided to be more cautious. Fine. In this regard, his fat dad, who is a blacksmith in the life profession, does not know much about the combat profession, so he found him the cheapest level 1 green dagger. This cost Qin Yun another 3,000 yuan. Although the fat dad was very grateful to him for bringing the little fat boy to upgrade and didn't want to take his money, he still insisted on giving it. After all, favors are favors and business is business. These are two different things. After returning home, Qin Yun walked into his room, then took out the level 1 green dagger from his space backpack and placed it on the table. I wonder if there are any level requirements for the devouring materials of the pale blade. Well, it depends on whether it will succeed or not. He raised his hand, pointed the sharp edge of the pale blade at the green dagger, and took a deep breath. Then, he nodded decisively. Ding, if you detect a target that can be swallowed, do you want to activate the Infinite Evolution special effect of the pale blade? Please confirm. Yes, no. Single quote. Yes, confirmed. Single quote. Following his confirmation, the level 1 green dagger on the table suddenly emitted a soft white glow, gradually dissipated, and finally turned into a point of light, which was absorbed by the pale blade in his hand. Really possible. Qin Yun's eyes lit up and he felt extremely pleasantly surprised. Although when it was at the ordinary level, it could swallow the level 1 whiteboard daggers and grow an upgrade, but he was not sure if it could continue to use the crappiest level 1 green daggers after it was promoted to the excellent level. Make materials. Therefore, he only bought a level 1 green equipped dagger for a preliminary trial to avoid wasting money. Unexpectedly, it was successful. The pale blade can really continue to devour, and it doesn't care about the level of the evolution materials. It only requires weapons of the same quality and type. This is great, because this means that he can cultivate it at the lowest cost, buy the cheapest daggers of the same grade as materials, and feed it directly to make it evolve continuously. If it can only eat weapon materials of the same level after being promoted to a higher level, then the cost of training will be much higher. In a short period of time, he simply did not have enough money and could not afford such consumption. Now that this idea has been verified, I have to say that Qin Yun is relieved. Because even level 20 green daggers were a bit expensive for him, and he couldn't afford to buy a few. Now he is much more relaxed. He only needs to buy a level 1 junk green dagger, which is countless times cheaper. Moreover, the blue fine quality dagger in his hand and the level 1 purple quality dagger awarded by the school can also be put to use and will not be idle and useless. No, it's better to sell that blue high quality 3-star dagger. If you replace it with a level 1 blue equipped dagger, you should be able to buy several more. Qin Yun shook his head and thought, it is still too luxurious to use a level 20 blue dagger as a devouring material. When the pale blade was upgraded to the excellent level, its attributes exceeded the level 20 blue excellent quality dagger, so he replaced it. Therefore, the weapon he is currently equipped with is directly the pale blade. Qin Yun opened his personal career attribute panel and called up the attributes of the pale blade, hoping to see the attribute changes after it swallowed the level 1 green equipped dagger. He was pleasantly surprised to find that the pale blade, which had been promoted to the excellent grade, had successfully been upgraded to 2 stars, and the growth rate of various attributes was greater than that of the ordinary grade. The attack power has increased from 20 points to 50 points, and the various attributes have increased from 5 points to 15 points. The growth rate is quite amazing. Qin Yun can't wait to go out and buy more green daggers, feed them to them, and push them to the limit. So, as soon as he got home, he immediately ran out happily. This is his busiest day this month. I cleared the level 20 dungeon 3 times in the morning, went to the Great Master to make a pendant, and bought weapons and armor at noon. In the afternoon, I went to the Temple of Job Changers and successfully cleared the single-player job transfer dungeon. It was a smooth transition. He thought that such a plan would be fulfilling enough, but the system gave him another surprise. In order to test his one-turn awakening talent skill, he first went to the wild area outside the city, and then to test the growth effect of the pale blade, he visited the weapon shop several times. As a result, after the pale blade was promoted to the excellent level, he unlocked another special effect. In order to test its power, he had to go to the wild area outside the city. He also happened to meet Ling, and he was so embarrassed that he almost lost his face. Now, after it was verified that the devouring material of the pale blade could ignore the level and was only related to quality and type, he had to go out again. It's so exhausting. Qin Yun checked the weapons stores in the main city of Tianhai online. After remembering their locations, he went out and took a taxi and set off again. What can I say, pain and happiness. This time, he reluctantly sold the level 20 blue high-quality 3-star dagger at a certain weapons store at a 15% discount, giving his wallet a bit of blood. Then, I spent money to buy 5 green daggers and 6 level 1 blue daggers at several weapons stores. My wallet was dry again and my deposit was completely exhausted. I have no money. I really have no money this time. I only have a few hundred yuan left. Qin Yun looked at his empty balance with an expression of soul astral projection. He could only take the bus home because he couldn't bear to take a taxi. How to live like this? The properties of this pale blade are indeed very powerful, but it is completely a gold-swallowing pit. No amount of money is enough for it to eat. This is just the lowest 3 levels of ordinary, excellent, and fine. What should we do when we get to rare, epic, legendary, and even divine weapon? Cry. Qin Yun felt so helpless about this that he wanted to find a rich woman to take care of him. He held up a small sign, hungry, begging for food. Under the afterglow of the setting sun, his shadow stretched so long that he finally crawled back home. Son, why are you back so early today? Hearing the sound of the door opening, his father Qin Feng, who was sitting on the sofa watching the news, turned his head unexpectedly. Today is the last day before the exam. Why don't you try your best to get as many levels as possible? What? My son is back. My mother, Lu Qin, also heard the sound and ran out of the bathroom. There was still water on her face, and she seemed to be washing her face. In fact, she and her father Qin Feng had just returned home and were planning to take a rest and prepare dinner. They didn't expect their son to come back so early today. Well, I'm back. Qin Yun nodded, his tone weak, walked to the sofa and slumped down. He was really tired after running back and forth so many times. The body is tired and the mind is tired. Son, are you okay? His mother, Lu Qin, looked at him with concern and nervousness on her face. Are you too tired? Tired, but his father Qin Feng had a straight face, pretending to be a strict father, and warned seriously, son, this is a major event in your life, related to your future. Moreover, it is already the last day. No matter how tired you are, you have to give it a try too. Tomorrow is the official assessment, and the results are related to what kind of university the new job transfer students can enter. Everyone is working hard to fight monsters and upgrade. How could you just give up? Even if you want to rest, you have to wait until tomorrow. I know, Qin Yun nodded, and of course he understood that his father was doing it for his own good. He explained, Dad, Mom, don't worry, your son has been promoted to level 20. I am 100% sure that he can take the exam. Go to the top Kyoto University. What, you've reached level 20? After hearing his words, his father Qin Feng and his mother Lu Qin looked in disbelief and exclaimed. They are experienced people and know how difficult it is for new career transfer students to reach level 20 within a month. The two of them only reached level 14 back then. In this way, I have been working very hard. I have been fighting monsters and leveling up continuously for a month. Apart from eating and sleeping, I have made every minute and every second count. Unexpectedly, they now heard that their son had reached level 20. Is the world changing too fast and they have been eliminated? At this moment, both father Qin Feng and mother Lu Qin were a little doubtful about life. What, you don't believe it? Qin Yun didn't bother to explain, and directly showed his level. The bright level 20 was the most powerful proof. Come on, see for yourselves. It's really level 20. Seeing the professional level displayed by their son, father Qin Feng and mother Lu Qin couldn't help but widen their eyes. They were completely shocked by their son's speed of upgrading, and were surprised and delighted. With such talent and such level, it will be a matter of minutes to get admitted to Kyoto University. Okay. When he learned that Qin Yun had reached level 20, his father Qin Feng was so excited that he slapped his thigh and said 3 good words. Ha ha ha, my son is really promising, he has a bright future. He laughed with joy, sat next to Qin Yun, patted his son's shoulder vigorously, and said with great joy, "What a boy. He rose to level 20 in just 1 month. You are more promising than your father and I were." Qin Yun gritted his teeth in pain, but who knew that this was his father, Iron Sand Palm, who could only bear the love silently. "That's right, don't even look at who gave birth to it." His mother, Lu Qin, looked proud and sat on the sofa on the other side of Qin Yun. She reached out and touched his head with gentle eyes. "Is S-level talent really that great? Ha ha ha." Dad Qin Feng smiled from ear to ear, still a little in disbelief. He looked up and down at his son and realized for the first time that he seemed to have grown up and he no longer needed to protect him from the wind and rain. "That is." Mom Lu Qin rolled her eyes at her husband and hummed proudly, "You and I are only C-level talent, so of course you don't understand how powerful S-level talent is. Not to mention, my son's career change is still a hidden combat career." Hee hee. Yes, yes. Dad Qin Feng nodded repeatedly without refuting. He looked at Qin Yun as if he were looking at a peerless treasure and couldn't bear to look away. S-level talent is good, S-level talent is good. In the future, my son will definitely be able to cross the 4-level mark. The threshold for transfer was successfully raised to level 100. At that time, he will be one of the top experts in the country, and he may be able to guard one side, and maybe serve as the city lord of a certain main city. These words of praise made Qin Yun a little bit intolerable. He was really afraid that he would suddenly say, "My son Qin Yun has the qualifications of a great emperor." Single quote. "By then, I will probably have to wonder if my dad has also transmigrated." "Yes, our son can definitely do it." Mom Lu Qin also smiled and nodded, as if she had already seen the day when her son would become famous, standing at the top and attracting everyone's attention. Speaking of which, a month ago, Lord Ling Yi of the main city of Tianhai had a private conversation with the couple, hoping that Qin Yun and his daughter could fight monsters and upgrade together, and help each other. Unexpectedly, his son had already made an appointment with the little fat man from the old Lu family to upgrade together. He went out in a hurry that morning and didn't give the two of them a chance to speak. At that time, Qin Feng and Lu Qin were still a little uneasy, worried that they would offend the city lord Ling Yi. They wondered whether the city lord would be angry, give them 2 shoes, or even lose their jobs. But after waiting and waiting for more than 10 days, the couple found that nothing had happened. Everything was as usual and calm, as if the city lord had forgotten about this incident. For this reason, the couple went to apologize. Unexpectedly, the city lord didn't mean to blame them, and even chatted with them for a while. In this way, Qin Feng and Lu Qin were relieved. In fact, the two of them discussed it quietly and both felt that the city lord was quite generous and had always had a good reputation as a character. He should not have any grudge against his family over such a trivial matter. Presumably, the city lord must also be very optimistic about the future of Qin Yun, an S-level talent. Otherwise, he would not take the initiative to propose that Qin Yun upgrade with his daughter. Although the other party's daughter is also an S-level talent with a hidden combat profession, our son is not bad either. They all have the qualifications to hit the 4th level of level 100, which will certainly make the city lord look at them differently. Today, seeing with their own eyes the professional level displayed by their son, the couple is already full of expectations for their son's future. "Son, since you have reached level 20 now, are you going to take a turn soon?" Father Qin Feng and Mother Lu Qin looked at each other. He coughed lightly, adjusted his tone, and said solemnly, "But don't rush to challenge the single-player job transfer dungeon. You must be fully prepared. If you can't main idea." "Yes, son, you have to take it seriously." Mom Lu Qin also agreed and warned seriously, "The difficulty of single-player job transfer dungeon is very high and it is not easy to pass. You must first prepare level 20 equipment and try to improve your professional attributes so that you can be more professional, confident. Your dad and I have saved a little money over the years. If you need to buy level 20 equipment, just ask." Mom Lu Qin took Qin Yun's hand and said in a very gentle tone, "I saved it all for you. Don't be embarrassed. You have to remember that you only have 3 chances to change jobs. Don't be careless and don't take risks. We must be cautious, cautious and more cautious. Yeah, don't be like me and your mother." We failed 3 times and ended up stuck at level 60 for the rest of our lives. There is no hope for the future. Dad Chin Feng nodded and said seriously, by the way, son, you have to remember that before you challenge the single-player job transfer dungeon, it's best to find a high-quality restaurant and ask an S-level chef to cook one. Have a good meal on the table, and after you eat it, you will get a temporary status bonus. This way, it will be much easier to clear the dungeon. Yes, you also need to prepare all kinds of potions and supplies. Don't find out that you have run out of them. It will be too late to regret. My mother, Lu Qin, also spoke immediately, chattering and giving instructions. This was the husband and wife's many years of experience in the adventurous career of career changers. They wished they could tell it all to Qin Yun and stuff it into his head. Well, Qin Yun couldn't help but raise his eyebrows, a little surprised. Is there such a thing? Do you want to have a big meal before downloading the dungeon? Why does it feel like a monster hunter? It seems that I have indeed neglected the life profession of chef before. I did not expect this kind of help. I made a mistake. Is it because the dishes they make use ingredients that are revealed by killing monsters, so they can temporarily increase the attributes of the job changer? Tisk, awesome. Haha, don't you know? Don't think you can know everything by searching online. For some things, you still have to ask people with practical experience. Seeing his son's surprised expression, his father Qin Feng seemed a little proud and smiled. See what you can do. His mother, Lu Qin, poked his head with her finger and rolled her eyes. I don't know how to tell my son clearly in advance. What's the point of being proud of here? Morality. Hey, I'm telling him right now. Dad Qin Feng begged for mercy repeatedly and was able to escape. Then he looked at Qin Yun. Anyway, if you don't understand something in the future, just come and ask your parents. Don't just mess around without knowing anything. Got it? Yes. Qin Yun nodded helplessly, then suddenly raised the corner of his mouth and suppressed a smile. By the way, I also have something that I forgot to tell you. Huh, what's going on? Father Qin Feng and Mother Lu Qin blinked and looked at him doubtfully. Actually, I've already turned around. Qin Yun directly displayed his professional attributes panel, and the words, awakening, first transformation, completely shocked the two of them. What, you've already turned around? The couple exclaimed with disbelief on their faces. Yes, after I reached level 20, I ran to clear the dungeon, bought some more equipment, and then tried to challenge the single-player job transfer dungeon, and it was successful. Qin Yun couldn't help laughing when he saw the shocked expressions on his parents' faces. This. The couple rubbed their eyes in disbelief and looked at each other in disbelief. S-level talent, is it so powerful? I think back then, in order to prepare for the impact, they spent more than half a year polishing it, playing various dungeons, brushing materials and equipment, and only when everything was ready did they dare to challenge the single-player job transfer dungeon. Only those who have experienced it know the bitterness of it. They originally planned to ask their son to calm down, polish himself, don't be impetuous, and patiently improve himself. Unexpectedly, he has already made a breakthrough. No, S-level talent plus hidden combat profession, is the combination of the two so powerful? Cannot understand it. The two of them were a little unbelievable, but the facts were in front of them and it was impossible to refute. My son really made a difference. Not long after I reached level 20, I passed a difficult level that would be daunting. But after the shock, the couple was filled with joy. Although he had known for a long time that the threshold for one turn would definitely not be difficult for the son of S-level talent, but he didn't expect that he would break through so easily. This also made the two of them more confident that their son would definitely be able to cross the barrier of rank 4 and reach level 100 in the future. Quote. What a good boy, how dare you deliberately tease your father? Dad Qin Feng laughed and scolded, and tears appeared in the corners of his eyes. He felt that the regrets of his life, the helpless sighs that he had woken up several times after dreaming in the middle of the night, were finally able to be vented. As for his mother, Lu Qin, she gave Qin Yun a tight hug and felt extremely relieved. Qin Yun dared to swear to God that he definitely didn't do it on purpose and had no intention of hiding anything. He originally wanted to say it, but who knew that after he reached level 20, his parents told him a lot of things like beans from a bamboo tube. As a result, he was stabbed in the back, which was a complete accident. He's really not an assassin. Well, he is indeed an assassin, but not this kind of assassin. In this way, the family of 3 was having fun, bustling, crying and laughing. Soon, Mother Lu Qin took Father Qin Feng to the kitchen to cook dinner. Qin Yun sat on the sofa to rest for a while and regained his strength. He got up and went to the refrigerator to get a bottle of Feijai Happy Water. After drinking it comfortably, he returned to his room. His last trip out was not in vain, he still had things to do. He lined up the 5 green equipped daggers, 6 level 1 blue equipped daggers, and the level 1 purple quality dagger awarded by the school on the table, and got ready to work. Then, let's begin. Qin Yun raised his right hand and summoned the professional weapon in his equipment, the pale blade. Then, he pointed its sharp edge on a level 1 green equipped dagger. Ding, if you detect a target that can be swallowed, do you want to activate the Infinite Evolution special effect of the pale blade? Please confirm. Yes, no. Single quote. Yes, confirmed. Single quote. He clicked the confirmation button without hesitation. As the light lit up and dissipated, the green dagger was successfully decomposed and absorbed, turning into nutrients for the pale blade to improve its quality. From the original 2 stars, it was suddenly upgraded to 3 stars. The attack power has been increased by 50 points, and various attributes have also been increased by 15 points. The growth rate is very impressive, which makes people very happy. Qin Yun did not stop there, and immediately started the next devouring process, aiming the pale blade at another level 1 green dagger again. Then, there are the 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Finally, with the change of name and color, the pale blade was successfully promoted to premium quality. But what surprised Qin Yun was that this time the level promotion did not unlock new special effects, but added 2 attribute effects that did not exist before. Critical hit plus 15%. Critical damage plus 50%. They are located just below each attribute and are new attribute effects. Ah, there is such a thing. Qin Yun was a little surprised. He originally thought he could unlock the 3rd special effect, but he didn't expect that a new attribute effect was added. Moreover, it's so powerful. This time, in his personal professional attribute panel, the critical hit soared to 30%, and the critical hit damage increased to 200%. What can be expected is that with the damage bonus of the 2 SSS level talent skills, God Killing Blade and Delusion Breaking Eye, his output damage has been greatly increased. However, this is not the end, he can continue to improve the quality of the pale blade. Very good, 1 star blue is installed. Looking at its properties, Qin Yun only admired it for a moment, and then immediately started the next round of devouring growth. Ding, if you detect a target that can be swallowed, do you want to activate the Infinite Evolution special effect of the pale blade? Please confirm. Yes, no. Single quote. Yes, confirmed. Single quote. He made another operation and fed all 6 level 1 blue equipped daggers to the pale blade, letting it swallow and absorb them and continue to grow. Soon, a brand new level 20 purple quality 1 star dagger finally appeared. At this stage, for every blue equipped dagger swallowed, the pale blade can gain 100 points of attack power and 20 points of various attribute points. When Qin Yun did not hesitate to feed it the level 1 purple quality dagger awarded by the school, the final attributes appeared. Name: Pale Blade, Soul Binding. Type: Weapon. Grade: Rare. Star rating: 2 stars. Level requirement: Level 20. Occupation requirements: Assassin. Wearing requirements: Agility 240 points or above. Attribute effect: Attack power plus 1500. Strength plus 310. Constitution plus 310. Agility plus 320. Stamina plus 310. Intelligence plus 310. Critical hit plus 15%. Critical damage plus 50%. Special effect: 1. Infinite Evolution. It can swallow weapons of the same quality and type, improve its own quality attributes, and grow infinitely. 2. Soul Shatter. Every time you kill an enemy, you can randomly obtain 1 to 10 points of soul energy, which can be stored indefinitely. When this skill is actively released, it will cause real damage to the enemy equal to the current number of soul energy points, regardless of defense, shield, and damage reduction, damage transfer, invincibility and injury avoidance. Current stored soul energy: 0 points. 3. Flash. when you actively release this skill, you can move to the target location instantly, with a maximum distance of 50 meters. Each movement will consume a little energy, and a little energy will be automatically restored every 10 minutes. Current energy points, 10 out of 10. 4, the purple quality dagger awarded by the school brought it 200 points of attack power and 50 points of improvement in various attributes, which was a huge growth rate. Moreover, this time, when the pale blade was promoted from blue excellent quality to purple rare quality, a new special effect was once again unlocked, instant flash. When seeing the effect of its skill, Qin just wanted to say, this wave is not a loss. Every time it improves its level, it brings a huge increase in attack power and attribute points. And from low to high, the growth rate obtained each time it is devoured is getting bigger and bigger. From the white ordinary level, every time you upgrade 1 star, the attack power increases by 20 points and the attribute points increase by 5 points. To the green excellent level, every time you upgrade 1 star, the attack power will increase by 50 points and the attribute points will increase by 15 points. Then to the blue elite level, every time you upgrade 1 star, the attack power will increase by 100 points and the attribute points will increase by 20 points. The last is the purple rare grade. Every time you upgrade 1 star, the attack power increases by 200 points and the attribute points increase by 50 points. Each level can swallow and evolve 5 times in total, ultimately creating the luxurious attributes you see today. From the initial 250 points of attack power and 10 points of basic attributes, it has grown to the current 1,500 points of attack power and 310 points of various attributes. The improvement is terrifying. Qin only felt that the hundreds of thousands of dollars he spent back and forth were not a loss at all, and they were worth every penny, fully worthy of his hard work. It's a huge profit. What a win. This weapon alone exceeds the total attributes of his other equipment, more than doubling his personal professional attribute panel. What is the infinite growth of the divine weapon embryo? This is. Today's Pale Blade's attributes are even comparable to the golden epic equipment he saw in the store. Qin played with this Pale Blade happily and couldn't put it down. Its texture was neither stone nor jade nor metal. It felt very warm and felt very good, and its shape was also very beautiful. He is already looking forward to the day when it will grow into a golden epic. However, his wallet is now empty, with only a few hundred yuan left, so it is impossible to afford materials. Moreover, whether it was a weapon shop or a blacksmith shop, he had asked in passing, but he could not find level 1 purple rare quality daggers. The supply was very small and extremely scarce. There are high-grade ones, but they are very expensive. He couldn't afford it at all, and he couldn't bear to part with it. It was too luxurious. Well, let's take it slow. Anyway, the current attributes of the Pale Blade are already very good, enough for him to use for a long time. After successfully raising the Pale Blade to the highest level temporarily, Qin was extremely satisfied and felt that everything was worth it. The assessment will begin tomorrow, and he did his best in everything without any regrets. It was even smoother than he expected, and the personal attributes panel improved a lot. He can feel how powerful he is now. Qin lay on the bed with a satisfied look on his face, opened his career attributes panel, and took a good look at the results of his efforts over the past month. Account ID XX100866XX9527. Character name Qin. Occupation Shadow Assassin, God-Killing Assassin. Talent level S level, SSS level. Awakening 1 turn. Level 20. Life 7,240. Physical strength 2,000. Attack power 2,319. Physical defense 1,130. Magic defense 904. Strength 420. Physique 632. Agility 1092. Stamina 610. Intelligence 389. Attack speed 1.3. Hit 100%. Dodge 15%. Resistance 20%. Critical hit 30%. Critical damage 200%. General skills combo, fatal deep stab, invisibility, tearing and cutting, backstab. Awakening skills Shadow Blade, God-Killing Blade, Delusion Breaking Eye. Equipment Weapon Pale Blade. Head Stalker Hood. Clothes ogre's leather armor. Pants ogre's leather pants. Gloves lightweight wrist guards. Shoes lightweight leather boots. Pendant ogre's bloodthirsty pendant. Waist accessories none. Ring tiger tooth ring, none. Compared with the basic attributes when he first changed professions, Qin Yun's current personal career attribute panel is simply too luxurious and has become much stronger. Of course, most of the attack power and various attribute points are provided by the dagger weapon of the Pale Blade, which more than doubled Qin Yun's attributes. The rest are bonuses from armor and accessories, as well as attribute points automatically added after upgrading, and the 13 free attribute points brought by each SSS level talent upgrade. Qin Yun focused entirely on the agility attribute. In order to maximize the benefits of the 1000% damage bonus of the two awakened talent skills, God-Killing Blade and Delusion Breaking Eye, it was a very extreme way to add points. The growth of the agility attribute of the assassin profession is also quite high, with an automatic increase of 10 points for each level. This also makes his agility attribute directly exceed 1000, far exceeding the other attributes. Physique and endurance are not bad either. Each time you level up, one automatically increases by 6 points and the other by 5 points. As for strength and intelligence, well, what are they? He is just an agile assassin who doesn't bother to look at them. Each level up adds 2 points to his strength and 1 point to his intelligence. Basically, there is no benefit. I wonder what the attributes of other career changers will be after they reach level 20. Qin Yun looked at his personal career attribute panel and felt happy, but, you can't even compare to me, right? After all, his talent is SSS level, which is the strongest level. Just one weapon puts him far ahead. Very good, everything is ready. Qin Yun is already looking forward to tomorrow's assessment and is full of confidence. Ding dong. The prompt sounded, and the school sent a message, reminding all new students who had transferred jobs to pay attention and remember to return to school on time tomorrow to take the assessment. He took out his phone for the first time in a long time, took a look at it, and then opened a chat group to see what other people in the group were doing. Since today is the last day before the assessment, the chat group is indeed very lively. Many people are typing and speaking, and all kinds of information are flowing like a waterfall. After all, this is a chat group with more than 300 people, and at this special time, it is not surprising that it is so lively. Qin Yun did not participate in it, but silently dived to peek at the screen, wanting to see what these people were talking about. After some browsing, he found that most of the new job transfer students in the group were discussing their respective levels, attribute panels, and admission standards for this year's class, etc., and predicting what kind of university they could get into. After fighting monsters and upgrading for a whole month, everyone has basically reached the highest level possible. Most of them have returned to the main city of Tianhai, waiting to return to school for the assessment tomorrow. However, there was a small group of people who, because their experience progress bar was about to be full and were about to be promoted to the next level, they did not hesitate to fight all night long and still fight monsters in the wild areas outside the city to level up. They worked very hard. Among them was a 5-member team composed of a certain A-level talent transfer freshman. I heard that they were about to be promoted to level 16. The news spread back to the group, and many people were cheering them on. As for the other 2 teams of A-level talent transfers, the experience bar was less than 50%, which was a big difference. Even if they fought monsters overnight, they could not reach level 16, so they returned to Tianhai Lord as early as the evening. City. At this time, they are the most active in the group. They show off their levels and attributes on various panels, accepting everyone's envy and admiration. On the contrary, the school beauty of Ling University, who told Qin Yun personally that she had been promoted to level 18, was not bubbling in the chat group at this time and did not know what she was doing. Could it be that she was as sullen as him, silently snooping around the screen? Well, she shouldn't be so boring, right? Qin Yun touched his chin and guessed in his mind. As the only 2S level talent combat professional transferees this year, someone specifically called Ling Shuer and wanted to ask about her level, but received no response. As for Qin Yun, who is also an S-level talent, of course there were people who liked him, but he just ignored them. He always turns on do not disturb messages and acts like a quiet and handsome man. As a gay friend, the fat little Lu Haoran is very active in the group, discussing with others which first-class university is better to go to. Although he was only a B-level talent, he was taken away by his good brother Qin and directly promoted to level 15. Even in the group, he is still quite conspicuous. Because, apart from the dozen or so new job transferees of A-level talent, he is the only one with the highest level of B-level talent. He is far ahead of the other B-level talents in the group, and there are only a few who are as good as him. But those were the transcendent level kings who worked hard to defeat monsters and upgrade. They worked hard and sweat and were crazier than others to achieve this step. How could it be so comfortable for a little fat guy? He had been promoted to level 15 a dozen days ago, and it was like riding a rocket. After holding it in for so many days, he was finally able to show it off openly in the chat group, and he was out of control. It's like having constipation for more than 10 years and finally being able to relieve it, it feels so good. Qin chatted with him privately and asked him what he had been doing these days. The little fat man immediately replied to him, saying that he had been killing monsters, honing his combat skills, and was not lazy. Even the experience bar increased by half because of this, which showed that he was really working very hard. Qin was also very relieved to know that his good brother did not stagnate and waste time just because he was brought to level 15. Instead, he continued to work hard for his future. By the way, Lao Qin, I heard that guy Li Lei seems to be reaching level 16 soon. In the private chat, the little fat man Lu Haoran also told him the news. It was said that the guy was staying up late fighting in the jungle outside the city. Qin didn't feel anything about this and just replied with the word, "Oh. Li Lei, who is that? I'm not familiar with him." Qin didn't bother to care what level he was promoted to, and it didn't bother him. "Son, it's time to eat." After chatting for a while, the voice of his mother Lu Qin, who had prepared dinner, reached Qin's ears. "Coming," Qin responded loudly, then told the little fat man to make an appointment to meet at the gate of the community tomorrow morning, and ended the chat directly. Early the next morning, Qin and the fat man Lu Haoran met at the gate of the community. "Hey, Lao Lu, you've lost a lot of weight." After more than 10 days, Qin finally saw his best friend again. He looked him up and down and exclaimed, "Not bad, he has become more handsome." He found that this guy was actually less fat and had almost lost weight. "Oh, I can't help it. This period of time is too hard. I'm busy from morning to night every day, and I exercise too much." The little fat man Lu Haoran was eating crispy potato chips and handed him a pack of snacks. "I'm almost out of shape, I have to take a lot of supplements." "Haha, it would be nice to lose some weight. Your dad will definitely be happy." Qin took it unceremoniously, opened the package and ate it. I have to say that the little fat man knew how to eat and it tasted very good. "You don't understand. As a warrior, you must be strong enough to give your teammates a sense of security." The little fat man chuckled and showed off his biceps, deliberately being funny. "The chubby kind. That's right, Kung Fu Panda, as long as you are happy." The two chatted while walking to the bus stop not far away. Soon, they waited for the number 56 bus and took it to the school smoothly. All new students who have transferred jobs, please gather in the playground. The loudspeakers on campus are constantly reminding all the new students who have returned to school. The head teacher of each class is counting the number of people in his class, counting each person's name one by one, making sure that everyone is present. Qin and the little fat man Lu Haoran also arrived at the location of their class. There is a lot of laughter here, and classmates who have not seen each other for a long time are greeting each other. The squad leader Li Lei is also there, and he is showing off his rank to the people around him. "My experience progress bar reached 87% yesterday, and I am about to level up. Of course I chose to stay in the wild area outside the city and stay up all night to fight monsters." His tone was full of pride, showing his level. "I played alone until 2 o'clock in the morning, and finally reached level 16. Now I will definitely be able to get into Kyoto University." "Wow, that's amazing." Several classmates who were watching looked at him with envy and exclaimed. "You know, the highest level in the chat group last night was level 15. Li Lei was at the forefront of all the new students who had transferred jobs." "Shuei, classmate, how many levels have you reached?" Under the envious gazes of everyone, Li Lei was filled with a sense of superiority. He walked up to Ling Shuier excitedly with a flattering expression on his face. Are you an S-level talent or a hidden combat profession, Frost Mage? What is your current status? Your level must be higher than mine, right? However, the campus beauty of Ling University didn't even look at him, as if he was nothing. This made someone who was overly excited suddenly feel embarrassed, as if someone had poured cold water on his head. Oh, congratulations. After working hard for so long, you finally reached level 16. The little fat man Lu Haoran happened to see this scene and said with a smile, a little bit weird. Who? Li Lei turned around and found the little fat man and Qin Yun. His expression changed, he turned around and walked away. Because he knew that the little fat man was promoted to level 15 by Qin Yun more than 10 days ago. He couldn't afford to provoke him and didn't want to humiliate himself. He secretly thought to himself, Humph, what are you so proud of? It's just that Qin Yun is helping you. If I were an S-level talent, I would definitely be better than all of you now, at least I wouldn't bring you as a burden to slow down my upgrade speed. Li Lei can guarantee that among all the new job transfer students, the one with the highest level is definitely Ling Shuier. Because she has been doing it alone and gaining experience by herself, she will definitely be faster than Qin Yun, the guy who leads people to level up. Ling Shuier also saw Qin Yun's arrival, but she just nodded slightly and did not speak. It is estimated that among everyone present, Qin Yun, who is also an S-level talent, can make her proud look at him differently. Haha, this guy is so disgusting. The little fat man saw Li Lei's last jealous look and took a sip at his back, feeling a little disdainful of the other person's character. Because he had seen it in the chat group, and someone familiar with the matter revealed that Li Lei kicked off 2 female teammates in order to level up faster, and he hated his little trick. It's okay, you won't see him after today. Qin Yun smiled, really too lazy to pay attention to this guy who had always regarded him as a love rival and a competitor in pursuing Ling Shuier, who was not easy to deal with. Ha, that's right. Hearing this, the little fat man also laughed and became happy. But then, he seemed to have thought of something, and his mood dropped again. Old Qin, have you decided which university you want to go to? Have you really decided on Kyoto University? It's too far away from our main city of Tianhai. Quote. Well, there's no way around it. They have the most resources there, and some dungeons and special places in Secret Realm are in their hands. Qin Yun nodded, this was something he had decided long ago. Well, good luck to you then. The little fat man sighed, hating for the first time that his talent level was too low and he couldn't go to the same university with him. What about you, which university are you going to? Qin Yun patted his shoulder and asked comfortingly. I should stay here in the main city of Tianhai. The little fat man had already thought about it and said seriously, my grandfather is old and I don't want to run too far. Here, I can get equipment support from home at any time. Moreover, Tianhai University is also very good. It is among the first-class universities. Zhongya is also at the forefront. Well, Tianhai University is really good. Qin Yun nodded, agreeing with the little fat man's decision. Last year, Tianhai University's admission standard was B-level talent level 14, which was completely enough for Xiaopengzi's current talent level. More than 300 new combat career transferees gathered on the playground, waiting for the assessment to begin. Not long after, accompanied by the Dean of Students and several teachers, several staff members from the Ministry of Education who were responsible for this assessment came here together and brought the sacred recording stone. It was a sacred stone similar to the one I saw when I awakened and changed my class last time, but it was smaller in size and looked like a medieval witch divination crystal ball. It was very gorgeous and crystal clear. They climbed onto the high platform that the school had prepared long ago, arranged everything, and looked at the new job transfer students below, looking at the new generation with eyes full of expectation and clarity. Not long after, the old principal came, stood in front of everyone, and then began to announce loudly. The assessment officially begins. He looked at everyone on the field with a smile and said loudly, next, according to the order of student numbers, please ask the students whose names are read to come up one by one to enter their personal scores. The first one. Chapter 41. The moment to decide the future fate of all job transferees has finally arrived. No, in fact, the assessment had already started on the day of the awakening and job transfer ceremony. This 1-month monster killing upgrade is an important turning point for new job transfer students to prove themselves and change their destiny. How is your talent? Are you able to make the most of your talents? Are you better at actual combat, using hard work and sweat to surpass the definition of talent level for you? In this month of monster fighting and upgrading, this is your chance to prove yourself. If you have any ability, just use it and let everyone witness it for you. Your upgrade speed may not represent everything about you, but it can reflect your potential, your career plans, and all aspects of your necessary qualities as a job changer. And today is the time to prove yourself to everyone. First place, Zhao Fengnian. The order of student numbers has nothing to do with classes. It was randomly arranged by the school system when the students first entered school 3 years ago. Which class a student will be assigned to in the end is also random and has nothing to do with the student's academic performance. In this special world where games and reality merge, there is no such thing as a key class. Although basic scientific knowledge is also taught, the weight of grades accounts for at least half of the content regarding career changers. Therefore, even scumbag students like Chin Yun and Little Fatty, who are ranked in the middle and lower grades, can still be in the first class of the 3rd year of high school. The student whose name was called was from Class 3 and Class 6. He came to the high platform with a nervous look on his face and his legs were trembling with excitement. Don't be nervous, just put your hands on the holy recording stone. A staff member of the Ministry of Education in charge of assessment said to him with a smile and raised his hand to signal. The new job transfer student nodded, walked to the brilliant crystal ball, and put his hands on it. Suddenly, the holy recording stone lit up, but it was not dazzling, it was very soft. Soon, it detected the student's job transfer account ID, occupation, talent level, and current level, and entered all his information into the student personal information file database established by the Ministry of Education, which was very convenient and fast. Zhao Fengnian, combat profession, archer, talent level C, level 13. The results of this new job transfer student were displayed on the big screen behind the high platform, and were seen by everyone in the audience. This is the glorious moment that everyone is looking forward to. Of course, it could also be a humiliating moment of humiliation in front of everyone. This is the pressure and motivation of the school and the Ministry of Education to motivate all new career transfer students to fight monsters and upgrade 1 month after their awakening. It will even rank everyone's assessment results on a list, so it's clear who is higher and who is lower. If you don't want to embarrass yourself in public, then do your best to level up. This is the first lesson they teach new career transfer students. Now that you have embarked on the thorny road full of dangers in the combat profession, you must be mentally prepared accordingly and use diligence and hard work to start your career as a career changer. Seeing this result, classmate Zhao looked disappointed, because this result was quite satisfactory. Although it was not bad, there was nothing eye-catching about it. Next, Li Chen. In this regard, the staff of the Ministry of Education responsible for the assessment did not say much and continued to call the names. One by one, the freshmen who had transferred jobs were called by name, their personal achievements were recorded, and they were honored to be on the list. The rankings on the ranking list change from time to time. Some people have successfully climbed up and are at the top, while others have been pushed down and are further and further behind. Everyone is watching all this nervously, wanting to get their own moment of glory. Next, Lu Haoran. Finally, Chin Yun heard a familiar name, it was Little Fatty. He ran forward with an expectant look on his face, like a naive black and white dog with a cheerful expression. Sure enough, when his results appeared on the big screen, it caused an uproar in the audience. Lu Haoran, fighting profession, Hammer Warrior, talent level B, level 15. His amazing results even directly surpassed the previous A-level talent level 15 student and landed directly at the top of the list. At this moment, everyone is watching. Because his talent level is only B level, but his level is the same as that of the A-level talent transfer freshman, which shows that the little fat guy has greater potential and his rating will naturally be higher. This is a successful counterattack by job changers with low talent levels against job changers with high talent levels. It is also the scene that all career changers with low talent levels want to see the most. It's like seeing dreams come true, synonymous with hope. What if the talent level is low? I can still be stronger than you. For a moment, everyone was in an uproar, looking at the fat little Lorin on the stage with envy, wishing he could take his place, and longing to be the one standing on top at this moment. Good. Even the old principal smiled and touched his beard, and praised the little fat man with a pleased tone. The little fat man Lorin was naturally extremely excited. Although he had foreseen such a scene, when he actually stood on this stage, topped the list, and received everyone's attention, the feeling was definitely different. Well, that's great. It's better than eating a cup of ice cream on a hot day, well, at least 2 cups. And this was all brought to him by his good brother Chin Yun, and he was extremely grateful. How about it, brother, am I awesome? Having said that, when the little fat man Lorin walked off the stage and returned to his position in Class 1, Grade 3, and stood in front of Chin Yun, he smiled proudly, put his hands on his hips, and leaned back tactically. Awesome, awesome Ja, awesome Plath. Chin Yun gave a thumbs up, very cooperative. Ha ha ha, the little fat man laughed. Of course, he knew that his current ranking in the first place was only temporary and he would be surpassed sooner or later. But after all, he once had this honor and was very satisfied. However, one person frowned. Why is he still only level 15? It was Li Lei. You know, he had known for a long time that the little fat man had reached level 15 more than 10 days ago, but he didn't expect that he would still be at level 15 today. Quote. Hey, are you worried about not being able to find suitable teammates in college? Soon, he figured out the key and sneered in his heart. Humph, he's just a piece of garbage that was brought up for upgrades. What real abilities does he have? Bah, rubbish is rubbish. You won't be proud for long. Li Lei stared at the rankings on the list, his eyes falling on the first place, his eyes burning. If he is called to the stage now, he will definitely take his place, attract everyone's attention, and become the new center of attention. However, as students came up one after another, it was still not his turn, which made him very anxious. Intel. Next, Ling Shuier. As soon as the name came out, the entire playground suddenly fell silent, and then became even more noisy. Everyone is curious. They want to know how many levels Ling Shuier, the proud girl of heaven, has reached as an S-level talent with a hidden combat profession. Under the gaze of everyone, Ling Shuier stepped onto the stage step by step and placed her hands on the sacred recording stone. Then, her results shocked everyone. Ling Shuier, hidden combat profession, Frost Mage, talent level S level 18. This result even shocked several staff members of the Ministry of Education, and their voices trembled. Several teachers, deans, and old principals on the stage were also amazed, and their eyes were focused on Ling Shuier. According to past historical records, it is very good for new S-level talent transfer students to reach level 17 in 1 month. Unexpectedly, Ling Shuier was able to reach level 18. Is it because of her hidden profession? At this moment, everyone present looked at the girl standing proudly on the stage, admiring her with extremely fiery eyes. Ling Shuier's name suddenly dropped to the top of the list, replacing the little fat Lorin's position. Oh my god, she actually reached level 18, that's amazing. S-level talent plus hidden combat profession, is it so powerful? I'm so envious. With such qualifications, she is worthy of being the daughter of the Lord of the City. People on and off the stage were talking a lot, their eyes focused on Ling Shuier, and they kept exclaiming. With such talent and such speed of upgrade, they seemed to have seen a rising star. Perhaps 10 years later, another rank 4 level 100 expert will be born under their own eyes and become a very important figure. At that time, they can brag to the people around them, saying that so-and-so was my schoolmate and classmate, and that I even talked to her personally. I guess everyone around me would look at me with envy, admiring me for having such a relationship with such a strong man, right? Facing everyone's gaze, Ling Shuier's expression was very calm, as if she had been used to this for a long time. She stood on the stage, looking at the position of Class 1, Grade 3, and finally landed on Chin Yun. Chin Yun, have you seen it? Single quote. Although she didn't speak, the eyes that she and Chin Yun exchanged silently revealed what this proud girl was thinking at this time. Come, let me see, what level are you at now? Single quote. Her eyes were almost provocative, arrogant and confident. you rejected my invitation to form a team 3 times before and insisted on bringing others to level up. Now, seeing that my level is higher than yours, will you regret it? Single quote. Qin Yun understood her look, but only smiled back. Ah, it's level 18, it's pretty awesome. He really felt that she upgraded very quickly, basically maximizing the advantages of S-level talent and hidden combat profession. This month, she should be working very hard to defeat monsters and level up. Well, not bad, not bad, she is an excellent and good girl. It's a pity that I can't compare to my cheating self, wow. The campus beauty of Ling University couldn't understand the smile someone responded to, but she felt a little uncomfortable intuitively, because this was not the look she wanted to see. Snort, I'm just waiting to see how high you are. She hummed softly, walked off the stage, and returned to her seat in the class, accepting everyone's attention along the way. Qin Yunho didn't regret it, let alone saying it, but someone in the audience almost cried. It's over, my number 1. Li Lei looked at Ling Xuer's name on the ranking list and let out a desperate cry in his heart. Because he knew that his hopes were completely disappointed, and there was no chance that he would surpass Ling Xuer and reach the top spot. All the attention he expected was in vain. Why on earth do you want me to line up behind Ling Xuer on stage? Why didn't you call my student number earlier? My glory. Mine. Li Lei clenched his fists and his face turned pale with anger, but he could only show a flattering smile to Ling Xuer, who walked back to the class, his expression a bit stiff. He was originally looking forward to a blockbuster success, but instantly lost all interest in the next assessment. However, no one cared about him. The assessment continued, and students were called to the stage one after another to enter their scores and get on the ranking list. When it was Li Lei's turn to finally take the stage, his results were only ranked 4th. Because before he came on stage, 2 more A-level talent students were called up one after another, and they were members of a 5-person A-level talent team that stayed up late last night to fight monsters and upgrade. They were also in time before today's assessment. Promoted to level 16. This is the power of the group and a victory for the team. If you form a team of 5 to defeat monsters and upgrade, even though the experience will be shared equally, you can challenge higher level monsters. This is much better than single combat. Even if you can gain experience alone, the efficiency of defeating monsters will also decrease. Unless your talent level is higher than others, a 5-person team will have more advantages. Although Li Lei is also an A-level talent and has been promoted to level 16, it did not cause much response. Because everyone present was still immersed in the astonishing level 18 of the campus beauty of Ling University, seeing her name far ahead in the rankings, just a level 16, and still ranked 4th, no one cared at all, okay. Instead, it was the 2 level 16A talent students in front who, under the heckles of their other teammates, caused some commotion and attracted a lot of attention. In comparison, Li Lei, who is not popular, seems somewhat unknown. This made him feel even more depressed, his expression was very ugly, and he walked off the stage with a stinky face. Alas, I slipped to 5th place. The little fat man Lorin was not in a good mood as he watched his ranking continue to decline. Be open-minded, don't ask for eternity, but ask for what you once had. Qin Yun patted his good brother's shoulder and comforted him. Compared to someone else, you are already very lucky. Of course he noticed Li Lei's performance. His expression was as ugly as his dead mother. I guess many people noticed it and it made people want to laugh. Fortunately, he had been complacent before, showing off his level everywhere, but this was the result. Haha, that's right. After the comparison, the little fat man Lorin suddenly felt much happier and laughed. As time went by, more and more transfer freshmen were called to the stage and their results were recorded. The ranking list on the big screen is already densely packed and too numerous to count. Except for the top 50, the names of those with lower rankings have been folded and shrunk to the point where they cannot be seen clearly. It's like all living beings, no one cares at all, except themselves. The ranking list of the top 50 has been almost fixed. Occasionally, 1 or 2 people on the list will push the people at the bottom down, causing 1 or 2 exclamations and sighs. Everyone present, except for those whose names have not yet been called, and those whose rankings at the bottom are in jeopardy, most of them don't care much about the results of the people on the stage. After all, They also know their level, and they know very well whether they can make it to the top 50 or not. They were all discussing which college to choose, whispering among themselves. Until a certain name was shouted out by the staff member of the Ministry of Education on the stage. Next, Chin Yun. As soon as these words were spoken, the noise in the entire playground suddenly fell silent, as if someone had pressed the pause button. Because they all know what this name represents. It is another talented freshman with a hidden combat profession of S-level talent in the school, Ling Shui's strongest competitor. Whoever takes the top spot depends on this one. Therefore, for a moment, everyone's eyes fell on Chin Yun, who was walking towards the stage. Seeing him step forward step by step, seeing his hands pressing down on the holy recording stone without shaking even once, everyone was so nervous that they didn't dare to take a breath. Finally, the staff member from the Ministry of Education loudly announced Chin Yun's results. Chin Yun, hidden combat profession, shadow assassin, talent level S level 20. Suddenly, his tone suddenly rose, and he was completely confused. His voice was trembling, and it was full of incredible tone. What the hell? What did he see? The new job transfer student in front of me has actually been promoted to level 20. Oh my god. Is this a broken record? Never before has an S-level talent career changer been promoted so quickly. He almost couldn't believe his eyes, but it was impossible to make mistakes when recording the Holy Stone, and it faithfully projected Chin Yun's professional level on the big screen. Top the list, Ling Shui, who was originally ranked first, was instantly pushed to second place. What? Level 20? Did I hear correctly? He actually reached level 20. Too strong. He is first. He is first at the top. Suddenly, everyone in the playground was excited. They stared at the rankings on the big screen with their eyes wide open, their voices were extremely shocked, and they felt inexplicably excited. Sure enough, the only one who can defeat the S-level genius is another S-level. I lost. Ling Shui's eyes gradually widened in the audience. She looked at her name that had been squeezed out and was lost in thought for a moment. It turns out that he didn't lie to me. He really reached level 20. Ling Shui stared blankly at Chin Yun on the stage. He was so high-spirited, but his expression was as calm as if nothing had happened. She couldn't help but be confused and murmured to herself. Recalling her strange behavior of beating slimes outside the North City gate yesterday afternoon, she found it strange no matter how much she thought about it. Could it be that she was really dazzled and saw something wrong? Missing a zero, his damage was actually not more than 100, but more than 1,000. Ling Shui was a little unsure. She would not believe that a level 20 job transferer could only do more than 100 points of damage against a level 1 slime. She misunderstood, thinking that his level was not high and that he was dragged down by the fat little Lorin. Unexpectedly, the person who was wrong was myself. He obviously told her personally at that time that he had reached level 20, but she didn't believe it. She even took the initiative to show off to him that she had reached level 18. When she thought of this, she felt so embarrassed. Thinking about how she was standing on the stage just now, looking down at Chin Yun proudly, she felt bad. She wanted to go back to the past and strangle herself to death. Her Taoist heart, which had always been proud and confident, almost collapsed. It turns out that she was the one who was wrong all along. Lao Chin is awesome. Lao Chin 666. The little fat man Lorin whistled fiercely in the audience, cheered loudly, waved flags and cheers for his good brother, and kept booing. The other students in Class 1, Grade 3, also felt proud and shouted together. The entire playground fell into a carnival atmosphere, which became more and more intense. Chin Yun's achievements shocked everyone in the audience. They all felt incredible about it. Someone can actually reach level 20 within a month. How awesome is that? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. What was even more incredible about this was Lilei, because he knew that Chin Yun did not level up alone, but with Lorin, a fat guy with a B-level talent, who had been fighting monsters and leveling up together for more than 10 days. He was able to reach level 20 even though he was carrying a burden. How dare he believe it? Lilei looked at the figure on the stage and gritted his teeth with hatred. He was jealous and angry. He only wished that the person standing on top was not him, but Chin Yun, who had always been at odds with him. Anyone can do it, but why him? I hate it so much. Li Lei even wanted to turn around and leave regardless of everything, leave the school and get drunk. It turns out that from beginning to end, the clown was actually himself. In fact, not to mention the new students in the audience, even the teachers, deans, old principals, and several assessors from the Ministry of Education were a little confused and felt unbelievable. You know, they are veterans who have been engaged in education for many years. They are experienced and well-informed. What big storms have they not seen? But I have never seen anything so outrageous. No, never heard of it. Can a new job transfer student with S-level talent and hidden combat profession be able to reach level 20 within a month? This is too awesome. They only know that the record left by the SS-level talent transfer freshman, the fastest upgrade speed, is no more than this. Could S-level talent plus hidden combat profession be comparable to SS-level talent? What talent skill did he awaken? Why did it upgrade so quickly? Could it be the experience halo? The kind that doubles the experience gained from killing monsters. The old principal and others felt unbelievable and were speechless. But after the shock, what followed was a huge surprise. A transcendent level talent comparable to SS level talent. They know that they have found a treasure in their school. In the near future, this boy named Qin Yun will definitely scare everyone and become a very important figure. Well, as long as it doesn't die midway, it will definitely be possible. They can already imagine how those universities will compete for the top spot when Qin Yun's results are reported. I just don't know which university Qin Yun will apply for voluntarily. This student Qin Yun, can I ask you how you upgraded? The person in charge of the assessment work from the Ministry of Education raised his hand to hold his glasses that almost fell off, and looked at Qin Yun in disbelief, arousing great curiosity. How to upgrade? Qin Yun blinked and said in a matter-of-fact tone, it's just a matter of leapfrogging monsters. As you fight, you'll reach level 20. Well, the staff member from the Ministry of Education trembled with his right hand when he heard this. What a messy excuse. Who doesn't know that beating monsters at a higher level gives you a higher experience value? I'm asking you how you did it. He had nowhere to complain and just wanted to bang his head on the table. Suddenly, his eyes fell on the holy recording stone, and his expression changed. He took a step forward, leaned over, and operated a few times. Then he suddenly raised his head and looked at Qin Yun, pointing at him with trembling fingers, almost unable to finish his words. You have actually completed one turn. Originally, the assessment would not pay attention to this information about the new students because they were all zero transfers, but he just glanced at it from the corner of his eye and took a closer look. Unexpectedly, he discovered something even more shocking. Shocking fact. What? He's already turned around. As soon as these words came out, several people on the stage could not sit still. They stood up and gathered around, looking at the holy recording stone. It's actually true. One of the young teachers even cursed directly and couldn't help it. One turn. Really one turn. The old principal's hand that was pretending to be calm and stroking his beard trembled, and he almost pulled out a few strands of his beard, and his tone became trembling. It's true, principal. This student Qin Yun has really completed a revolution. If you don't believe it, just look at it. Another elderly teacher pointed to a certain piece of information recorded on the sacred stone and felt equally incredible. Oh my God! The dean, who was always known for his seriousness, covered his forehead. The surprise was so great that he felt a little dizzy. The staff from the Ministry of Education also looked at Qin Yun, who was pretending to be innocent, with disbelief in their eyes, as if they had seen a ghost. Soon, the commotion on the stage gradually spread to the audience. Immediately, the whole playground was completely blown away by the new job transfer students, as if it had suddenly turned into a vegetable market, noisy and full of people. Reaching level 20 within a month was very powerful, but they could still accept it. After all, judging from the surface, she is only 2 levels higher than Ling, which sounds like the gap is not big. Some people have also heard about the amazing deeds of SS level talent. Thinking that Qin Yun is an S-level talent plus a hidden combat profession, it seems that it is not impossible, as long as he works hard enough to upgrade. However, he has actually made a successful turn, which is a bit incomprehensible. Are you riding a rocket when riding a horse? Why so fast? What about the threshold for one turn? Do you treat it as if it doesn't exist? Even if you have a mine at home, once you reach level 20, you will be equipped with the most powerful equipment. Don't you need to polish your professional combat skills and start challenging the single-player job transfer dungeon? You only have 3 chances to change jobs each time. Aren't you afraid that if you fail, you will be stuck at level 20 for the rest of your life? Oh my god, it seems that this guy is not only desperate, but also very courageous. You don't take any rest at all. Just after reaching level 20, you dare to challenge the single-player job transfer dungeon. It's really reckless. Why don't you just let Saburo give you his name? Facing the incredulous looks of everyone, Chin-yun just tilted his head with a confused expression. One turn, is it difficult? He blinked his eyes with an innocent look on his face. After I reached level 20, I gave it a try and passed it in one try. After hearing his pretentious speech, everyone just wanted to rush up and beat him to death. The news that Chin-yun reached level 20 and successfully transformed completely shocked everyone present. At this moment, everyone could clearly feel the gap between him and Ling another S-level talent with a hidden combat profession. Even though the difference is only 2 levels, the difference in strength is quite big. It can be said to be completely transcendent. Could this guy be a transcendent level genius, a natural job changer, especially good at actual combat? Otherwise, it would be too shocking to successfully cross the threshold of job transfer just 1 month after awakening. It's not as fast as riding a rocket. Could it be that his S-level talent plus his hidden combat profession plus his understanding of combat are enough to rival his SS-level talent? Or even stronger? You know, even for SS-level talent, it seems that there are very few people who can successfully turn around within a month. But no matter how unbelievable it is, the facts are right in front of them, and they have to believe it. If there are no accidents, Chin-yun will definitely be the top pick in the country this year. After a period of commotion, the assessment still needs to continue. Some new students who have transferred jobs have been waiting eagerly, and they cannot be delayed any longer. Soon, several assessors from the Ministry of Education took care of everything and began to continue the assessment. But not many people paid attention anymore. Most people were still discussing Chin-yun intensely. Although they lowered their voices, they were extremely excited, as if they were participating in some kind of big event during the new year, and they were in a bad mood. Calm down. Not to mention these students, even the teachers on the stage, the dean, and even the old principal were all the same. Their eyes glanced at Chin-yun in Class 1, Grade 3 from time to time, and then looked away pretending to be nonchalant, and then looked at him again. One glance. The happiest person, who made no secret of his feelings, was the head teacher of Class 1, Grade 3. Because Chin-yun was a student in his class, and although his grades had never been good, this time he completely made him happy, and he was so happy that he never stopped smiling. With such a student, his salary will be at least several thousand yuan more, and his professional title can even be raised. Of course, bonuses are definitely indispensable. Looking at the head teacher who was grinning like a suckling pig, Chin-yun was also a little amused and knew what he was happy about. Although his grades actually have little to do with this class teacher, who is so lucky that he happens to be his class teacher. Well, he deserves to be promoted and rich. This is when one person attains enlightenment, and chickens and dogs ascend to heaven. The truth is this, and Chin-yun certainly understands it. After about an hour or so, the assessment finally came to an end. The last new student who had transferred to another job came on stage to enter his score, and it ended successfully. According to preliminary statistics, except for Chin-yun, everyone's results are quite normal and within the expected range. D, E, and F-level low-level talents are new job transfers, and their levels are probably between level 10 and level 13, but very few are promoted to level 13. The new job transfers of A, B, and C-level medium talents are in the range of 13 level 15, and the top scorers of some A-level talents have been promoted to level 16. Ling, an S-level talent with a hidden combat profession, has reached level 18 and is far ahead. As for Chin-yun, this evildoer, he even reached level 20 and was able to ride like a sword. This report card made the old principal completely embarrassed in front of the people from the Ministry of Education. He became radiant and energetic as if he was 20 years younger. In short, this year's assessment ended smoothly. Everyone went back to their homes and looked for their mothers. Of course, the school's head teachers also remind everyone to remember to fill in their wishes online within 3 days, and I wish you all the best to be admitted to the university of your choice. Because the Ministry of Education is very efficient, unlike Chin Yun's original world, results will be available soon. The personal assessment scores of new job transfer students across the country will be directly entered into the Student Personal Information File database established by the Ministry of Education. It will be clear at a glance what occupation, talent and level are. Transfer freshmen will receive their admission notice within a week, and then they can report to the university. The time left for them to rest and adjust is only 7 days. After a hard month, some people will choose to relax and have a good sleep, while some people will choose to have a party, indulge themselves and vent their stress. In short, everyone has their own ideas, but after a week, when I went to university, it was time to start a new journey of struggle. As for our protagonist Chin Yun, what is his choice? After he filled out his application for applying to Kyoto University online, he continued to play dungeons every day, and then went to the jungle to fight monsters and upgrade. There is no way, he is too poor now, and all the money he has been eaten up by the dagger of the pale blade. In order to make money, he can only work harder. Although there is a level 1 purple quality novice suit awarded by the school in his space backpack, which is missing a weapon and dagger and only has 5 pieces of armor, it can still be sold for hundreds of thousands of yuan. Because their preciousness does not lie in the rarity level or the number of stars. The attribute limit of low-level equipment lies here. The reason is that they are level 1 and can be equipped by new job transferees. Their attributes are almost comparable to level 20 whiteboard equipment, allowing new job transfers to defeat monsters and upgrade more efficiently. Just this feature determines their extraordinary price. But Chin Yun didn't want to sell this novice set because he liked the appearance of this equipment and wanted to keep it as a souvenir. He didn't want to ask his parents for money, so he had no choice but to play copies to make money. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be able to afford the travel expenses to teleport to other major cities. Fortunately, he was lucky. When he went to clear the level 20 copy of Ogre's Lair, that day, he actually encountered a treasure chest. You know, the random probability of a treasure chest appearing in a dungeon is very, very low, only a 0.1% chance, but you can basically get some good things. What will be inside the treasure chest? Chin Yun easily killed the ogre boss with one move, but only exploded some ordinary low-level materials. He picked them up casually, and then came to the treasure chest. He rubbed his hands together a few times, started various metaphysical prayers, and then resolutely opened the treasure chest. You opened a treasure chest and obtained equipment, which is high heels. Single quote. Seeing this prompt, Chin Yun's eyes suddenly lit up and he couldn't wait to check its specific attributes. Name, which is high heels. Type, armor. Grade, rare. Star rating, 2 stars. Level requirement, level 20. Dress code, female professional. Attribute effect. Life plus 300. Physical defense plus 200. Magic defense plus 240. Constitution plus 50. Stamina plus 50. Intelligence plus 80. Resistance plus 10%. Special effect. Trampling. Causes 1% physical damage to the target. If trampled by this high-heeled shoe, the target will not only feel pain, but also gain an inexplicable pleasure. PFF. What the hell is this? Seeing the attributes of this piece of equipment, especially its special effects, Chin Yun almost spat out a mouthful of old blood, and his mood was so subtle. This. Are you serious about this skill description? A level 22 star purple rare quality armor with pretty good attributes and special effects. Is it precious? Of course it's precious, but why is the skill with its special effect so unfair? The damage is almost zero. Except for some guys with special quirks, no one would like this skill, right? Moreover, this is a special piece of equipment only for women's professions, and he does not meet the wearing requirements for it at all. So, we can only sell it, right? Don't know how much it could be worth. Chin Yun was a little confused, sighed, and put it directly into his space backpack, planning to ask the store after returning to the city. However, before that, go to the wild area to brush monsters and upgrade. Since turning to level 20, he has discovered that the experience points required for each level have increased a lot, almost multiple times. This caused him to grind dungeons and go to the jungle to fight monsters for 3 consecutive days to upgrade. As a result, his experience bar only increased to 44%, which was more than half of the way to upgrade. He estimated that the progress in one day was only about 14.6%, and the upgrade speed had indeed slowed down a lot. According to this efficiency, it will take about a week to upgrade to level 4, and a month to upgrade to level 4. I don't know if the experience points required for upgrading will continue to increase in the next levels. I can only say that upgrading is very slow now, and it is not as difficult as when it was below level 20. You know, his efficiency in killing monsters is very astonishing. He kills almost one sword at a time, and most of his time is spent looking for monsters. At this point, the upgrade speed was still so slow. He couldn't even imagine how fast other people could upgrade. Isn't it just 1 or 2 levels a month? That's too difficult. Qin Yun shook his head, held a minute's silence for the other new students, and sighed. That's it for the first turn. What about the second turn? What about the third turn? What about the fourth turn? In the end, shouldn't it be calculated by year? Well, it shouldn't be as scary as I thought. While Qin Yun was thinking about the messy things, he chose to exit the dungeon, announcing that he had finished the limit for today and was ready to go further to the wild area to fight monsters and upgrade. After the assessment that day, many admissions directors from first-class universities called him immediately and contacted him frantically, offering various favorable conditions in the hope that he could study with them. Some even came to Tianhai Lord to study there. City, meet him in person to show your sincerity. In order to win over him, many conditions were so good that it was jaw-dropping. Even Qin Yun was a little tempted. However, similarly, the admissions officer of Kyoto University also immediately contacted Qin Yun, and the conditions offered were not bad. He was willing to waive all his tuition fees, and also gave him a scholarship of 1 million every year. He valued him very much. National champion. It seems that they are also worried that he will be poached by other universities and that he will be attracted by all kinds of sugar-coated bullets, so they did not hesitate to give a super high scholarship of 4 million in 4 years. These top universities in the country are almost vying for the top spot in the country with amazing test scores. Qin Yun did not hesitate and directly applied for Kyoto University. After all, Kyoto University has the most rare resources and the highest status. He basically doesn't think about it. He has already decided where to go, but he doesn't care about scholarships. Just yesterday, he had received the admission notice from Kyoto University, reminding him to report there. There are only 4 days left, and he should be able to reach level 21 just in time. No, wait, if you include the last day to report to Kyoto University, it seems that there is not enough time. There is only 1 last minute left. Alas, I wonder how much time it will take to report to the university. Can you spare some time to make up for this experience? Qin Yun casually killed a few ordinary wild monsters he encountered on the way, picked up the low-level materials they exploded, and threw them into his space backpack. Life is not easy, and I don't mind having mosquito legs. I can earn as much or as little as I want. After killing wild monsters for a day, Qin Yun returned to the main city of Tianhai. He returned home and started searching on the internet for information about the witch's high heels, an unorthodox piece of equipment. He found no information at all. It was very mysterious. Early the next morning, he went to a nearby armor store and asked the owner to help estimate the purchase price. It turned out that the boss was a sinister person and was only willing to offer 50,000 yuan. Qin Yun was so angry that he wanted to smash the witch's high heels into his face. I bother. 50,000 yuan. The attributes of this piece of equipment alone are endless. You know, this is a 2-star purple rare quality. Are you looking down on it too much when you compare it with blue high-quality level 20 armor? Qin Yun himself estimates that it is worth at least 70,000 to 80,000 yuan. If he encounters someone with special hobbies, it is estimated that someone will buy it for 100,000 yuan. Therefore, he put this piece of equipment in his space backpack for the time being, and did not plan to sell it in the short term. He first put it up for sale online to see if anyone would take the initiative to come to his door. Later, Qin Yun sold all the worthless ordinary low-level materials in his space backpack and gained several hundred yuan. Then he went to the city lord's mansion to purchase a dungeon ticket, and left the main city of Tianhai from the south city gate, heading to the deserted hills and continuing to clear the ogre's lair dungeon. Or choose the highest nightmare difficulty and click to enter. He slashed 8 streets along the way, killing all the werewolves along the way, and came to the ogre boss again. Then, he cleared its blood volume with one move, which was extremely easy. If it weren't for the level restriction, to be honest, he would have wanted to play the level 30 dungeon. The level 20 ogre's lair copy, even on nightmare difficulty, is not challenging at all for him. As the ogre boss fell down in confusion, a dazzling blue light appeared in Qin Yun's sight. "Ha, it's shipped." Qin Yun ran over excitedly and picked up the equipment, with a surprised expression. They are actually the ogre's leather boots. "Ha ha ha, now, I got another one." You know, compared to other blue high-quality level 20 armors, the ogre's armor has plus 5% more resistance, which is equivalent to a set attribute. Not to mention, the armor he currently uses for his shoes is still a green, light leather boots, which are quite different in terms of attributes. Qin Yun couldn't wait to replace the ogre's leather boots and admired the appearance of his new shoes. This time, he no longer looked like he was wearing rain boots, and his appearance looked much more harmonious. That's right, that's right. There are only 2 pieces left to get a complete set of ogre armors, the head and the hands. Qin Yun smiled and was very satisfied. It's just that I'm about to leave Opening Heaven's main sea city to go to college. There are only 3 days left, so I may not be so lucky. Unless he directly spends money to buy it, or collects the materials and asks someone to make it. However, he does not have the main materials for making the armor, but there are a lot of auxiliary materials. He felt a little regretful about this, but he had no intention of pursuing perfection. Because, after all, this is only level 20 equipment. It won't be long before it can keep up with his level, and it will have to be replaced sooner or later. As for these green shoes, he touched his chin and decided, just sell it, it should be worth 10,000 yuan. Afterwards, Qin Yun directly chose to exit the copy. He can swipe twice more today. I wonder if he can produce something valuable. Qin Yun was full of expectations and immediately entered the dungeon again. Qin Yun's luck was not good. In the next 2 nightmare copies, he did not reveal anything valuable. In desperation, he had no choice but to go to the wild area to fight monsters and upgrade. In fact, he was lucky enough. He was able to obtain several pieces of high-quality blue equipment. If it were another team, he probably wouldn't be able to obtain so many pieces in a month. Moreover, he would have to share it equally with 5 teammates, so the harvest would be even greater. Small. It can only be said that this guy's evaluation of his own luck is not accurate and he has not compared it with others. Otherwise, he would have loudly announced to the whole world that he was the destined European emperor. In the next 2 days, Qin Yun kept doing the same thing repeatedly, which was to clear level 20 copies 3 times, and then go to the wild area to fight monsters and upgrade. He finally raised the progress bar of experience points to 88%. Unfortunately, he could not continue to fight monsters and upgrade on this last day because he had to report to Kyoto University. Oh, by the way, the witch's high heelses he got from opening the treasure chest were finally sold. It was only listed for sale online for 1 day, and someone came over to ask for the price that night. Qin Yun said frankly that he didn't know the specific price, so he asked the other party to bid first, intending to push back and forth, but the other person shouted out a price of 120,000. He was immediately shocked by the other party's aura, and without hesitation he mailed and sold the items to the other party, earning a large sum of money with tears in his eyes. The strange thing is that the next day, the buyer left a message in the comment area again, saying that the effect of the product was very good, that he was very satisfied, and gave Qin Yun a 5-star praise. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Qin Yun had a black question mark on his face at that time, and he couldn't figure out what was going on with the other party. He could only say that in this world, there are always weird people with weird hobbies, and they are also weird and wealthy. It's really a great experience. Because of this incident, he finally had money again. His account balance increased by hundreds of thousands, and he immediately felt relieved. Money is every man's courage. If you have money, you will have the confidence to do anything. Qin Yun understood this sentence deeply and believed that he should practice this truth. He vowed to make his wallet balance never return to zero. The more the better. This year's admission standards are out, and Kyoto University's requirements are higher than last year, requiring A-level talent plus level 16. Many new career transfer students with A-level talent but only level 15 lamented in the chat group that they missed out on the top Kyoto University and could only choose other first-class universities. The admission standards of Tianhai University have also been raised by one level. The chubby Lu Haoran just met the standards, which was very dangerous. He was extremely lucky that Qin Yun sent him a congratulatory message. Qin Yun himself had been booked into Kyoto University in advance, so it was very stable. This morning, he packed his luggage, well, that is, he threw everything into his space backpack, which was very convenient and quick. This is the advantage of career changers. They carry space with them and can install whatever they want. Then, he was ready to leave for the main city of Kyoto, where Kyoto University is located, to report to the new students. Before leaving, Qin Yun made a special trip to meet the little fat man Lu Haoran and say goodbye to each other. Well, this time, we won't be able to see each other again for at least half a year. Dad Qin Feng and Mother Lu Qin were somewhat reluctant to part with their son, but they could only bid farewell to their son with tears and asked him to take good care of himself. He must be calm when encountering problems, don't be rash, and think before he acts. If you are short of money, you must contact your family in time. They will call him as soon as possible, nagging all kinds of things, telling him this and that. Qin Yun also agreed wholeheartedly. He is not a reckless man, he is very cautious in doing things. After bidding farewell to his parents, Qin Yun came to the portal of the main city of Tianhai, positioned his destination in the main city of Kyoto, paid a high fee of 50,000 yuan, and then set off. The light of the magic circle accompanying the portal gradually brightened, and soon, he disappeared completely. The next second, he appeared in the main city of Kyoto, thousands of miles away. This was Qin Yun's first time using the portal. It was a bit similar to his assassin's backstab skill, and also a bit like his pale blade's flash, which suddenly appeared in an unfamiliar location. However, he didn't know whether it was due to the characteristics of the teleportation gate or because the teleportation distance was too far, which made him a little dizzy. Fortunately, this situation was quickly alleviated and returned to normal. He looked around and found that there were quite a lot of people here. From time to time, people teleported over, and some people even almost vomited. They quickly covered their mouths with uncomfortable expressions on their faces. This made Qin Yun feel a lot better. At least he got used to it quickly. After leaving here, Qin Yun checked the route on his mobile phone, quickly got on a bus and started to report to Kyoto University. Half an hour later, he finally arrived at his destination. There are so many people. Standing at the school gate, Qin Yun sighed. Well, there are also many good-looking seniors and juniors, with their long legs and little white rabbits. They are all so beautiful that it is dizzying to see. Today is the day for freshmen reporting. The place is crowded and very lively. He almost couldn't squeeze in. Fortunately, there is an orientation office responsible for receiving new students. Qin Yun quickly found a familiar feeling, successfully completed the reporting procedures, and arrived at his assigned dormitory. This is a 4-person dormitory with 3 roommates, 2 of whom have already arrived, and he is the third one to arrive. Coming, buddy. One of them greeted him warmly and stretched out his right hand, seeming familiar. My name is Qian Duoduo, and I am a mage by profession. What is your name? Ah, hello, I'm Qin Yun, an assassin. Qin Yun shook hands with the other party and joked with a smile. You have an amazing name, it's the dream of many people. Ha ha ha. Qian Duoduo was very happy for his ridicule and did not feel offended. Thanks to my dad, my family is indeed quite rich. Well, this is really a rich second generation. As for the other person, his personality seems to be a bit introverted and he doesn't like to talk much. He just introduced himself as Zhao Qing and his profession as a summoner, and then said nothing more. Hello, please take good care of me in the future. Qin Yun didn't care, smiled at the other party, and began to make his bed. After cleaning up a little, he continued to take out various things from the space backpack, decorating his future kennel, including mats, quilts, pillows, etc., chatting with Qian Duoduo one after another. Not long after, the last roommate arrived. This is a very strong guy with very strong muscles. His name is Meng Chao. He calls himself a transcendent level hunk and is a giant axe warrior by profession. Qin Yun and the three of them all expressed warm welcome to his arrival. Let's go and eat while everyone is here. I'll treat you. Qian Duoduo waved his hand and suggested in a very arrogant manner. Qian Duoduo wanted to treat him to dinner, so the other three would naturally not refuse his proposal. However, Qin Yun and the others don't think of him as their scapegoat. Of course, everyone pays their dues. We are just roommates meeting each other for the first time. Just be polite and don't take it seriously. Having a meal together is just an excuse to get closer to each other. Several people came to the school cafeteria together. There are quite a lot of people here and it is very lively. Although it is not a meal time, the canteen is still serving food. Because today is the day for freshmen to report, the situation is special, and there are even many parents sending their children to college. The cafeteria today is basically open 24 hours a day without closing. Qin Yun and the others also wanted to try the food quality in the university cafeteria. After all, they would have to eat here for the next 4 years, and they had to find out the enemy's situation first. If that doesn't work, then you have to consider solving it outside of school. Qin Yun and others prepared their meals and found an empty table to sit down. Since the three guys secretly paid for it themselves, Qian Duoduo was not willing to accept it. He had made bold promises to treat the guests. Therefore, he bought everyone a bottle of drink, which was considered as fulfilling his promise. In response, Qin Yun and the others did not refuse, and accepted it with a smile and thank you. Hey, this food tastes pretty good. Qin Yun took a few bites and tasted the taste, and was a little surprised. Haha, I heard that the chef of the cafeteria of Kyoto University is an S-level professional chef. Of course, the quality is guaranteed. Qian Duoduo told his gossip, and it seemed that he had already inquired about it privately. S-level chef, he cooks so many dishes himself. Qin Yun raised his eyebrows, feeling a little unlikely. Of course, impossible. Qian Duoduo shook his head and smiled. The canteen has such a large supply of food every day, how can he keep busy by himself? I guess there are many A-level chefs as helpers, right? Oh, that's what I'm saying. Since his parents talked about it last time, Qin Yun did some research on the internet about the profession of chef. He knew that an S-level chef would charge at least 100,000 yuan to cook a table of meals, which was not something ordinary people could afford. When the time comes, it would be nice to have a meal once in a while. Because the S-level chef's meal sells not only the taste, but also the temporary bonus effect. Although the food tastes good, it's not so delicious that it's amazing. It's probably not the masterpiece of the S-level chef. Qin Yun tasted a few more carefully and commented. Although he has not tasted the craftsmanship of the S-level chef, he has read online reviews and found unanimous praise. It said everything, as if he could become an immortal after eating. The degree of exaggeration almost made him mistakenly believe that he had transmigrated into some kind of food world. He took a look at his personal career attribute panel and found that there was no increase in buff status. It should be because the quality of the ingredients was not high level enough. It seems that the cafeteria is not rich enough to provide students with a buffet every meal. Does it mean that you have to place a special order and pay the chef in the cafeteria to cook it fresh? You guessed it right, it's not. As a second-generation rich man with a lot of money, he confirmed his guess and said in a confident tone, "My chef is S-level, and the food he makes tastes much better than this." Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. The three of them had questions on their faces. What kind of big dog owner? Brother, I am your long-lost brother. Meng Chao coughed and said with an exaggerated flattery, almost making the whole table spit out their food. A few people were chatting and laughing, and in the end, I don't know who started the conversation. They talked about the topic that the boys were most interested in. Hey, have you noticed that the girls at Kyoto University are of very high quality? Indeed, I saw many beautiful ones. Yeah, look over there, the one sitting at the table by the window eating. Isn't he pretty? Quote. Well, I think the senior in the orientation office is pretty good. She has a really nice smile. You're right, that senior is indeed very good looking, but on the way to the dormitory, I saw an even prettier one. That face, That figure. Daughter absolutely stunning. Really, what's her name? Which dormitory does she live in? I don't know, but she should be a freshman this year like us. Meng Chao shook his head, still seeming to be immersed in that startling glimpse. Even Zhao Qing, the most introverted person, participated in the topic at this time, with an inexplicable excitement on his face. As he was talking, Meng Chao suddenly opened his eyes wide, as if he saw something, and raised his hand to point in a certain direction. Look, that's the girl I was talking about. Everyone immediately turned their heads to look over there, and sure enough they found a beautiful girl from the transcendent level who was preparing food, attracting the attention of everyone around her. The three people's eyes were straight and fixed. Qin Yun also saw it, but raised his eyebrows and said nothing. Macho man, you have great vision. Qian Duoduo agreed with Meng Chao's view and gave a thumbs up. I recognize you as my biological brother. Yes, it's very beautiful. Zhao Qing nodded weakly, his face turning red. I don't know which department she is from. Is there any chance to meet her? Meng Chao swallowed silently, reluctant to look away, thinking that one more look would be worth it. It would be great if he were in the same class as us. Yes, they were assigned to the same dormitory and had already communicated with each other. They were all in the same class. Oops, she caught us looking at her. Suddenly, the girl they were talking about seemed to notice their gaze and turned her head to look over. Several people immediately sat upright, looking serious as if they were eating seriously, but they still couldn't help but glance at her secretly from the corners of their eyes. She's coming. Meng Chao's voice trembled, as if he had discovered a terrible fact. She came towards us. She could have heard us talking about her, right? Upon hearing the news, Zhao Qing turned slightly pale with fright. He seemed to have no experience in dealing with such emergencies. Calm. Qian Duoduo was very calm and lowered his voice and reminded, who among those people around are not talking about her quietly? How could she just stare at us? Maybe there are many empty tables here and she just wants to sit here. Well, this self-deception was shattered when the girl stopped and stood in front of them. Oh my god, she really came to them. You. Qian Duoduo's face trembled. He was slapped on the face and didn't know how to explain it. But the girl didn't pay attention to him, but looked at someone among the four of them. Qin Yun, are you here to report too? The eyes of Qian Duoduo and the other three people immediately focused on Qin Yun, and they were extremely surprised. Indeed, it seems that Qin Yun has not spoken since just now. Could it be that he knows her? Well, hello, classmate Ling Shuier. Of course Qin Yun knew her. Isn't this the campus beauty of Ling University whom he had a crush on in high school? We met a few days ago, how could we not recognize each other? Qian Duoduo, Meng Chao, and Zhao Qing didn't dare to speak, and the three of them just looked at the two of them and started chatting. Qin Yun, which class are you in? Ling Shuier asked. She had long been accustomed to the gazes of people around her and didn't care. Maybe we are still in the same class. Oh, a classmate in high school. There is a situation. The three people watching began to eat melon in silence. The soul of gossip was burning, and the meal no longer tasted good. I'm from class 1 of the output department, what about you? When going through the admission procedures, Qin Yun knew which class he was assigned to, and he didn't hide it and said it directly. At Kyoto University, new career transfer students will be divided into 3 major departments based on the type of occupation: Defense Department, Damage Department, and Support Department. Further down, there are 50 people in a class, randomly assigned. The Defense Department and the Auxiliary Department have about the same number of people, with about 4 or 5 classes. The Output Department has the largest number of people, 2 or 3 times more than the other 2 major departments. This is determined by the professional matching characteristics of the 5-person team. In fact, statistically speaking, the proportion of new generations who awaken and change jobs every year is close to this ratio, which is very consistent with the style of a 5-person team. Qin Yun was assigned to Class 1 of the Output Department, which should be random and without human intervention. Yeah, hearing this answer, Ling Shuir's eyebrows seemed to curve. She nodded, and said in a slightly cold tone, then it seems that we can continue to be classmates in the future. After saying that, she took her dinner plate, turned around and left, sitting at an empty table not far away. A person is beautiful alone, and there is a large area around her. No one dares to come close, including other girls, because they don't want to be the green leaves that set off the flowers. Speaking of which, in high school, Ling was also so cold and aloof. She was always ostracized among girls, and her popularity was not very good. This may be because she is too outstanding and has grown up in such an environment since she was a child, which gradually formed her character. And her temperament also seems a bit reclusive and independent, which makes people unable to get close to her. Chin Yun, no, brother Chin. You are my brother. Qian Duoduo lowered his excited tone and looked at Chin Yun with great admiration. You and her are actually classmates. Why didn't you say it just now? You are not kind. That's right. Meng Chao also looked curious and excited. Zhao Qing weakly condemned someone with his eyes, but he didn't have much offensive power. Ah, is it my fault? You didn't even ask. Chin Yun simply rolled his eyes and continued eating, as if he didn't care about what just happened. He doesn't care, but they care about the money. Hurry up and tell me honestly, what is your relationship with her? Qian Duoduo would not let him go so easily and asked questions quickly. That is she your girlfriend? Meng Chao seemed eager to know the answer to this question. He didn't even eat anything and just looked at him like this. Zhao Qing also stared at Chin Yun curiously without blinking. How can it be? Chin Yun shook his head and said helplessly with some humor, she is the school beauty of our high school. Do you understand? How many people like her, do you understand? I know. Qian Duoduo nodded with understanding. No surprise, this is not the school beauty, who is? I'm sure that even at Kyoto University, she must be the school beauty. But didn't you try to pursue her? Everyone has a love for beauty. Can you bear this? Brother Chin, don't let us look down on you. Meng Chao and Zhao Qing agreed with his words. They nodded and pricked up their ears. Who said no? I'm chasing him. Now that the words have come to this point, Chin Yun has no way to avoid them and directly spreads his hands. It's just that you didn't catch up. Can you blame me? Huh, X3. So, I gave up long ago. Chin Yun pretended to be tired and sighed. She is not that easy to chase. Many people have hit the wall, and I am no exception. I think that kind of gentle and cute girl is more suitable for me. Quote. Well, it's impossible to lick a dog. That's a person's identity created by the system, and he doesn't recognize it. Dot can understand. The eyes of Qian Duoduo and the other three people quickly changed from admiration to sympathy, and they patted his arm with understanding. Unexpectedly, even a handsome guy like Chin Yun couldn't impress the school beauty. It seems really difficult. Stop talking, let's eat. Ah, eat. As if they were afraid of mentioning Chin Yun's sadness, the three of them started to work hard with their heads down. Chin Yun smiled and started to cook without explaining anything. What he didn't know was that when he was talking to Qian Duoduo and the others, Ling Shui, who was sitting at the table not far away, suddenly paused while picking up food, but soon returned to normal. After having enough wine and food, well, enough soup and rice, Chin Yun and the others drank the bottle of drinks bought by Qian Duoduo while wandering around the campus and began to explore the landforms and enjoy the beautiful scenery. Wow, this tree is so long, oh no, so straight. The fruit of that fruit tree is so big, round and white. It really deserves to be called Kyoto University, the scenery here is unique. In response, several people looked satisfied and feasted their eyes. A few hours later, they finally took a tour of the entire campus. They had a preliminary understanding of the terrain here and could make plans for the next battle. The four of them returned to the dormitory and started chatting and getting to know each other better. Chin Yun did not expect that among the three of them, Zhao Qing, who was introverted and never talked much, talent was the strongest. He is also an S-level talent, and his level has been upgraded to level 17. Qian Duoduo and Meng Chao are both level 8 talents, level 16, just above the passing mark of the admission standards. Brother Chin. No, Boss Chin. But Qian Duoduo, Meng Chao and Zhao Qing almost knelt before Chin Yun. They never imagined that this guy would be such a great god. From now on, you will be the boss of our dormitory. S-level talent plus hidden combat profession. And he also reached level 20 and completed a turn. What kind of fairy is this? This terrifying record almost scared the three of them to the point of peeing on the spot. They have never heard of such a fierce and ruthless person. Being admitted to Kyoto University, of course they are also geniuses and can be proud of themselves. But compared with this guy Chin Yun, he would have to be thrown into the trash can. It is really incomparable. It turns out that Boss Chin is one of the 2 talented transcendent level freshmen specially recruited by Kyoto University this year. Qian Duoduo seemed to have remembered something and said suddenly, "Transcendent level genius new student." Meng Chao and Zhao Qing were not as well informed as he was. They seemed to know everything and looked confused. Yes, Qian Duoduo nodded, not knowing where the information came from. I heard that there is an SS level this year, and there is also an S level plus transcendent level genius with a hidden combat profession. I didn't expect it to be so far away but so close in front of me. He held Chin Yun's hands tightly, and immediately hugged his thighs to be taken away. Boss Chin, I have a lot of money and a blind eye, so please forgive me. Please take good care of me in the future. Meng Chao and Zhao Qing were also flushed with excitement, looking at Chin Yun with eyes as high as a mountain. Okay, stop playing tricks. Chin Yun reluctantly put aside Qian Duoduo's hand, knowing that this guy was joking and didn't take it seriously. However, he was quite interested in the SS level he was talking about. It was the first time I heard about it. What's going on with that SS level you're talking about? Chin Yun was quite interested in what Qian Duoduo said about another talented freshman at the transcendent level who was specially recruited. There is actually an SS level talent this year. That's incredible. You must know that freshmen transferring to S level talent basically appear every year, which is very common, but SS level talent is very rare, and you may not even see one in 3 to 5 years. Boss Chin, I've heard about it too, but I don't know much about it. Qian Duoduo quickly told what he knew, and said quickly, it is said that he is a shield knight of the Defense Department. He was specially recruited by Kyoto University. The conditions offered are very favorable. Defense type. Chin Yun touched his chin, becoming more and more interested. Maybe you can ask around in the future to see what kind of fierce guy he is. A few people chatted in the dormitory for a while. Suddenly, their mobile phones dinged and received new message reminders. Well, it was a class group that I joined when I went through the admission procedures. A certain group leader whose nickname is Teacher Sao tricked everyone and announced that all students should go to classroom 204 in Building C for a class meeting at 4 p.m. No one is allowed to be absent. Having a class meeting on the first day of reporting. How interesting. Chin Yun looked at the message on his phone and raised his eyebrows. Are everyone here? They should all be here to report. He glanced at the time. It was now 1:20 in the afternoon, which was still very early. Therefore, he did not set off for the time being, but continued to search for various information on the internet. Well, the main thing is to study the map near the main city of Kyoto, the level distribution of monsters in the wild area, and the location coordinates of the dungeon, etc., and keep them all in mind for future use. He originally thought that on the first day of reporting to the school, he would be able to move around freely. He was thinking about whether he could go out to the school and clear up the level 20 dungeon count for today. If he wanted to upgrade, it would be too late. His experience progress bar was only 88%, and he really couldn't level up in an afternoon. Now, Chin Yun could only give up his thoughts temporarily. He could not leave the school to try the depth of the water in the main city copy of Kyoto, so he had to stay in the school. The days are long, we can only wait until tomorrow. Soon, at about 3:40 in the afternoon, Chin Yun, Qian Duoduo and the others left the dormitory and started heading to classroom 204 in Building C for a class meeting. Because the dormitory was far away from the teaching building area, and they were new here and unfamiliar with the location, they were worried that they would not be able to find it, so they had to go out 20 minutes early. Fortunately, it only took them about 10 minutes to successfully find classroom 204 in Building C. Stepping into the classroom, they found that they were not too early, but a little late. There are already many people in the classroom. It is noisy. They are all sitting in their respective seats and chatting enthusiastically. After finding an empty seat and sitting down, Chin Yun and others began to look at their future classmates around them, feeling a little curious. Well, the main reason is to see if there are any good-looking girls, so come to a place near the water, first come first. As for boys, who cares? Since everyone is from the damage department, it is basically impossible to be on the same team. The positions are limited. Wouldn't it be nice to find roommates? You can also chat and exchange experiences at ordinary times. There is a high probability that they will be future competitors. Job changers are not ordinary students and have different needs. That girl is nice, fair and beautiful. Meng Chao secretly pointed in a certain direction and whispered. Indeed, but I think the one sitting next to her is the supreme grade. Qian Duoduo shook his head and expressed different opinions. I think so too. Zhao Qing quietly agreed with Qian Duoduo's vision. Yes, the key is to be big enough. Qin Yun hit the nail on the head and pointed out the biggest advantage of that girl. Then he compared the girl mentioned by Meng Chao and killed her ruthlessly. What do you think? It's so vulgar. Meng Chao blushed angrily and argued for himself. I clearly meant beauty. What does beauty have to do with size? Brother Meng, the one you are talking about is obviously wearing makeup. After taking off the makeup, she will definitely not be able to compare with the girl next to her. Qian Duoduo seemed to be very experienced and patted Meng Chao on the shoulder. You are still too young, you have to learn to see the essence through the phenomenon. Brother Qian, brilliant. Qin Yun gave him a thumbs up and looked down upon someone's eyes. Haha, Boss Qin is indeed my confidant. Qian Duoduo arched his hand and accepted his praise generously. Meng Chao seemed unconvinced and still wanted to argue a few words. Suddenly, the whole classroom suddenly became quiet. Everyone looked towards the classroom door in unison, and a beautiful silhouette walked into the classroom. Although there were two girls beside her, everyone's eyes were focused on her and they couldn't look away. What the hell? Some boys even couldn't help themselves and blurted out. Because, that beautiful silhouette is so beautiful. She seems to be born with the ability to attract the attention of people around her, making people unable to help but look at her more. There is such a supreme grade beauty in our class. This was the first thought that came to everyone's mind. The next second, they began to worry. Could it be that they went to the wrong classroom? But when the beautiful figure calmly sat in the first row with her companions in the eyes of everyone, the whole classroom was boiling. Is she really from our class? You're so lucky. The boys couldn't help but secretly rejoice. They were as excited as if they had been given a shot of chicken blood, and they were eager to try. The girls' expressions were a bit subtle, especially those who thought they were pretty. Compared with the girl who just walked in, they felt that they had suddenly turned into green leaves and could no longer be bright. Okay, our school beauty is here, no need to fight. Qian Duoduo patted Meng Chao on the shoulder and exclaimed, other girls can't compare with her. Really? Meng Chao nodded in agreement, because after seeing Ling Shuier, those girls who thought they were pretty before now feel like that now, disappearing from everyone. This feeling is particularly obvious when both parties appear in the same place, and he almost doesn't think about it. What is the gap? This is, Boss Qin, you are not living up to expectations. Qian Duoduo and others looked at Qin Yun with hatred, shook their heads and sighed. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Qin Yun had a question mark on his face. Has your attitude changed too much? He held me up high 1 second, and then dropped me the next second. A few people were joking and joking. Not long after, a middle-aged man in his early 30s walked into the classroom and stood on the podium. Ahem, everyone, please be quiet. Seeing that everyone in the classroom gradually became quiet and looked at him, the middle-aged man began to introduce himself. My name is Cao Dehua, and I am your counselor. You can call me Teacher Cao. Whatever happens to you in the future, you can come find me. He wrote his name and contact information on the blackboard. Let's start calling the names. Next, the counselor took out a roster of students in the class and began to call their names one by one. Fortunately, the whole class is here, and no one is absent. Very good. Counselor Cao seemed very satisfied with this and said with a smile, then, please come up and introduce yourself first. Counselor Cao asked everyone to come on stage one by one and encouraged everyone not to be shy, start a new university life, and make more new friends. The boys who signed up to introduce themselves on the stage were very enthusiastic, almost all rushing to get there, one after another. Well, maybe you want to express yourself well in front of the beautiful woman and leave a good impression. Everyone is pretentious and polite, just like gentlemen. It's just that when introducing themselves, their eyes always glance in the direction of a certain girl. Their purpose is self-evident, and the drunkard's intention is not to drink. Talent level, professional level, attribute equipment, personal hobbies, height and size. They almost want to show off all the things they are most proud of to attract the attention of beautiful women. Qian Duoduo and others also went up one after another and briefly introduced themselves. Hello everyone, my name is Qin Yun. I am an assassin. My hobbies are singing, dancing, rap and playing basketball. Thank you. Qin Yun's self-introduction was also very simple, and he left after saying that. This familiar speech made everyone look at him with contempt. You little black guy. Don't think we don't know what you're up to. Not long after, Ling Shuier also came on stage and briefly talked about her situation, which immediately triggered a burst of howling. Oh my god, this girl is not only beautiful, but also has such great talent. Let no one live anymore. Many of the boys who were originally eager to give it a try suddenly gave up and felt ashamed. Not worthy, really not worthy. They are very self-aware and know exactly what a bright future she will have with her talent. On the contrary, most of the girls breathed a sigh of relief, because Ling Shui's conditions were so good that there was no competitive relationship with them. Both parties were not on the same track, so there was no smell of gunpowder. Soon, the round of self-introduction was over, and Counselor Cao returned to the podium. He started to talk a lot, generally about trivial things at school, telling everyone what to pay attention to and what not to do. This class meeting is actually just for everyone to get to know each other and have a preliminary understanding. There is nothing special. However, before the end, Counselor Cao asked those students who are willing to become class cadres to prepare in advance. The next class meeting will be held for election, and everyone can actively sign up to participate. Qin Yun has no interest in this, and he doesn't want to deal with such trivial matters. What does this kind of thing have to do with him being a scumbag? He is still very self-aware. In addition, Counselor Cao also reminded everyone that there is a welcome party for freshmen at 8 o'clock tonight, which will be held in the auditorium. Everyone should be sure to arrive on time and not be absent without excuse. Finally, he announced the end of the class meeting and everyone dispersed to move around freely. Qin Yun originally wanted to leave, but Counselor Cao stopped him and asked him to go to the academic affairs office with him. Ah, Qin Yun blinked. Was he called to the office on his first day? Have you seen through my identity as a scumbag? He didn't know what the other party wanted to do with him, but he still said goodbye to Qian Duoduo and the other two, and followed Counselor Cao away. Hello, classmate Qin Yun, please sit down. Counselor Cao took Qin Yun directly to the academic affairs office, the dean's office. There was another girl in the room. She was small, thin, and her skin was a little yellow. She looked like a stunted bean sprout. The unscrupulous Counselor Cao left alone, leaving Qin Yun facing the serious-looking dean in confusion, not knowing what was going to happen. However, with the subsequent explanation from the dean, he finally understood what the other party wanted to do with him. It turned out that he, who had outstanding performance in the assessment, was selected as this year's freshman representative, and it was planned for him to speak on stage at tonight's freshman welcome party and give a speech. Qin Yun glanced at the time speechlessly. It starts at 8 o'clock tonight, and you didn't tell me until 5 o'clock. Don't I need to prepare a speech in advance? Was it a little too rushed? I haven't eaten yet. It's okay. I'll give you some speeches from past freshman representatives. You can take them back for reference. The dean picked up a few pieces of paper on the table and handed them to Qin Yun, as if he had already prepared them. Is this okay? Qin Yun took it with a speechless expression. After looking at it for a few times, he felt that it was okay, so he could deal with it casually. Besides that, there's another thing. The dean didn't seem to care about such a trivial matter. He raised his hand and gestured to the girl. Her name is Su Xiaoyu, she is another freshman representative. When the time comes, she will stand on the stage with you. You can take care of her. Amelia Su, another freshman representative. Is this a combination of men and women? Does it reflect gender equality? No. Qin Yun's heart stirred, and an idea came to him in connection with something that happened before. Is she the SS-level talents transcendent level genius freshman? You know. The dean seemed a little surprised. He nodded. Yes, she is just like you. She is a good recruit this year. Qin Yun's eyes widened, and he was greatly surprised when he looked at the girl in front of him who looked a little timid. No, I thought what kind of fierce guy that SS level Holy Shield Knight was. It turns out to be her, a stunted bean sprout. Being stared at by him like this, the girl's expression became a little frightened. She lowered her head and shrank back in her seat, not daring to look up at him at all. Stop scaring her. The dean seemed a little troubled by the girl's character and raised his forehead. Anyway, she will go on stage with you, but she won't have to speak, just stand on the stage. It will be a kind of exercise for her. Yeah, I understand. Qin Yun withdrew his gaze and nodded. His mood was a bit subtle now, but he still accepted this difficult task. To be honest, he was worried that this girl would be scared to tears on stage. Isn't it too cruel for you to expose a socially fearful girl to the public? Well, you should get to know her first, chat and get to know each other. The dean nodded happily, then waved his hand. Okay, you go back and prepare. Quote. Qin Yun left his office with the bean sprouts, feeling a little dazed for a moment. He suddenly stopped, and the bean sprout that was following him seemed to have lowered his head without looking at the road, and bumped directly into his back. He let out an oops, then covered his forehead with tears in his eyes. Sorry, are you okay? Qin Yun turned around and looked at the other party, a little nervous. He was worried that she would be damaged. But the girl just shook her head and didn't speak. Your name is Amelia Sue, right? Qin Yun looked at her, began to ponder, and quickly made a decision. I am Qin Yun. I am going to the cafeteria to eat now. Do you want to come with me? The girl named Amelia Sue hesitated and nodded. Because the dean of students just said that if he asked her to get to know him, she wouldn't dare run away alone. Well, let's go then. Qin Yun also roughly saw her character, showed a kind smile, and tried his best to look like a good person. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.